All right, we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm going to refresh the page. Where's my YouTube? Oh, there we go. Hi.
All right. So, Linda will be joining us at some point. I thought Allie was coming, waiting on her as well, so we should have a bigger panel for you. Alan, or Awen, I always say Awen because that's what Paul says, but Awen and I were just talking about some of our experiences with some crazy people in our life. So, just kind of.
We're like, why not broadcast it live? Come on.
Right, like here, you want to know what really bothers us? We'll tell you because we were talking about it. But we are going to play some games and just kind of chill out tonight because it's been a rough week.
It has been a rough week. Yeah, between the trial that Paul and I are following and some of the stuff that came up for me doing my podcast, it's like, you know what? I'm taking the weekend off and I'm just going to relax and be silly and have fun. Hey, Travis.
Right, exactly. Hi, Travis. All right. Let's see. Oh, man. All aboard. Yeah, choo-choo.
And I'm sorry I don't have a picture of this StreamYard thing. It won't let me put a picture for my profile, so it's just the white circle. I don't like that. I may actually have to get a camera. Oh, my God.
Right. Hey, we would actually be able to see you. We've never been able to see you. You always hide.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that. That's a big jump for me.
Funny. I don't know. You have such a great voice, and I'm sure you would. Your beautiful face and your beautiful voice, you'd win the internet. That's it. You would win the internet. Maybe.
Part of it, my internet life has always been about hiding my identity because of my ex. He's a crazy psychopath. I don't want him to connect me with my Awen Reese name and all of that stuff. And if he accidentally came across me in YouTube, oh my Lord, So I'm really nervous about that. But I want to do it because I want people to take me seriously, and I'm a real person,
right.
not just a voice.
Right.
But it's scary.
Yeah, I have that same. Like Linda posts stuff about me on Facebook. I'm like, do not post to Facebook because that's the only place that Wayne's in-laws hang out at. I'm like, just But I could create a separate Facebook, but I really don't care. But I talk about them randomly, like we were just talking about. And at this point, I don't care if they hear what I have to say because this is the only communication we'd have anyway.
Yeah.
But everything's just my name.
If my identity gets out, you guys will have a real true crime mystery. But you know who did it, so there you go. Call the police for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Love the storytelling voice. I do too. I just could talk to Awen all night. Like her voice is so soothing. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So nice. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Funny.
Yeah, Linda, I want to be out there like that. And I think someday I'll get there. I'm just baby steps. Baby steps.
Right. Yeah. When the first time Allie wanted to go live, it was right on my birthday in March. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting on camera. You're out of your damn mind. And then it took a long time before I would actually go on camera. It was normally just my picture. Like I wouldn't do it. But what the hell? At this point, it doesn't matter. I don't really care anymore. I mean, I care, but I'm not like nervous about it anymore. Where before it was like, oh my gosh, like no, like I'd have to psych myself up. Now I'm like, oh, now I can just talk, And now I feel like I know everybody, so it's not as intimidating,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard, and like you doing your podcast and telling your stories, pretty amazing in my opinion. I like it. Well, like we were just talking about, I would love to be able to just let it all out. But for me, I wouldn't even know where to start. It's like, okay, I could tell you what recently happened, but that happened because of something way back. Like it wouldn't be a timeline, like a normal timeline. It would be a hot ass mess.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. I have my memory from back now. This was like 25 years ago when all this happened. And I can remember so much of it like it's happening right now. But then I have like months that I can't think of a single thing that happened in that time frame. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that's kind of weird. So I've been plotting it out on the calendar and trying to get everything straight and in order. And I'm like, well, here's 6 months. I have no idea what happened. All right, I'll skip that part. Come back to it later, maybe.
Right. Yeah, it is weird how sometimes I'm the same way. Sometimes I can't, like, it doesn't even cross my mind. There's nothing. And then all of a sudden it's like everything at once, like if you
Yeah.
remember everything, something little will just set it off or nothing at all. It's so weird.
Yeah. It's been fun. Like this week, I had a lot of things in the podcast that made me really angry. So, like, my husband comes home from work, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm bouncing around in my chair, singing, "Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor." And he's like, "You okay?" I'm fine. Why? What's up?
Yeah, you're finding your angry white man music. You're just gonna get it out.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah, he's a little scared, but
he's a little scared. That's
I'm like,
funny.
it's okay. I'm good.
What a hoot.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. So, yeah, let's do silly stuff.
Right.
That's probably why Paul isn't here. He's like, I need a break. Eamon's been too intense this week. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I sent him a message and told him, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap. They went at the family dinner, and he said he was gonna take a nap, but he said he's still not feeling the best. So
yeah, his mom's going back home this weekend, so he'll be a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, that's got to be special because they've been there a long time. I mean, over a week. That's a lot of entertaining.
Yep, it is. And his mom is wonderful and loves him, and he loves her to pieces. But there are times when you're like, oh, I need to breathe.
Right, exactly. I know that one day he told me, he's like, yeah, my mom got bit by an ant and she wanted me to come over. I'm like, oh, Lord. I'm like, Paul, what the heck is up with that? That's just funny. But
yeah, it's great for the dogs. His dog Roscoe loves to hang out with his mom, so that's fun.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, a friend of ours, they had before their dog passed away, whenever they would go out of town and they go hunting and fishing all this, like they're always doing something. So that the dog would go over to her mom and dad's house, and that was like his second home. So anytime they were around with that dog, he was like, "Oh, there's more people." So it's funny how they know like their people are. Made
that
me
is
giggle.
cool.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. Lord have mercy.
Oh, and we have no trials going. The next one doesn't start till the middle of next week. So it's just like
which one's gonna be next? I'm sorry,
I'm not exactly sure which one is next. Law and Crime, they have one coming up next week. The mods told me it was really compelling, but they didn't give me any info. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you then.
Right.
Hopefully be something good and not involving children, for the love of God, please.
Yeah, because between Tim Jones and then the Rosenbaums, that was too much. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you're talking. I mean, just with Tim Jones, you got 5, and then to move on to this next one that was clearly like, I know, like, let's, didn't somebody rob a bank? Can we do that one?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. People do stupid stuff. Let's find some dumb criminals that are going on trial. Let's do that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What a hoot. All right. So how does this Price is Right thing work?
Well, I have a bunch of true crime related items, very unusual true crime items that are for sale on the internet. And I'm going to put a link to a picture in the chat room, like this one. That'll be the first object that we do, and everyone looks at the picture and they give a guess, like Price is Right. How much do you think that item is? And the person who gets closest wins it, and whoever gets closest overall at the end wins a prize. So, and plus, you can always shop for these items if you decide you really like it. I'm gonna have that mug.
Yeah, this is like a Dexter cup. You need this, Dexter.
Yep.
Like the blood spatter. Oh my
I need the blood spatter cup. Absolutely.
I think that would truly freak people out just to like set that on your desk or on your table,
Yes.
anything. People be like, "What the hell happened at your house?" You know,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
they'd run out the door calling 911.
Yep.
I don't
It's like,
know.
well,
Does
just a little
anybody
blood
have?
spatter. Doesn't everybody have blood spatter all over their house?
I don't know. I guess we need to get some luminol. Everybody gets luminol. So how much does everybody think that is? Ooh, Travis said $30 or $29.99.
And I have my handy dandy notebook here because whoever wins this game will win a free Toxic Bliss T-shirt from my new
Uh,
Teespring account. So that'll be cool.
I
Might as well
love
play for real prizes.
you picked the best colors. I love them, like the real soft colors. I think you did a great job with those. They look so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I want it to
Awesome.
be peaceful and calm colors, and
Yeah. Yeah, after you tell us this crazy story, you're like, here, just chill out. It's okay. I survived.
yeah, I lived. It's okay. I'm still alive, or I wouldn't be recording this. See?
Right. I made it. It's funny.
Hmm.
I don't know. So really was this $15.99? I don't know. No, you're funny. Linda, how much do you think that blood spider cup is? Linda for president. Ah, you betcha. Here, Linda. I got something for you. Let's see. There we go. There you go, Linda. Now you got your you betcha out there. Just for you. $24.99. Linda, what's your guess? You betcha. Oh, it's still funny. That's the night I almost died. Holy cow, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. $1.380. What the hell does that mean?
$1.380. 138. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. We need Linda's magic decoder ring. This does.
Yeah. If you're gonna be president, we have to go over some financial stuff.
Yeah, well, oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, sidebar. Did you see that math problem that's going around Twitter and everybody's flipping their shit over? Did you see that?
I haven't. I just saw a tweet about it, but I haven't actually looked at the math problem yet, and I want to.
Oh,
That's what I'm doing this
yeah,
summer is math, so I
that's
gotta check
funny.
that
Yeah,
out.
I looked at it. I'm like, the answer is one. Like, duh. And then I read the article, and it's like, it depends on where you learned math. I'm like, are you kidding me? Math is not universal in the world because that's crazy, you know?
It is crazy,
But,
yeah.
yeah, because the right answer is 1 or 16, depending on where you learned math. I'm like, no, the answer is just one. Period. There is no other answer. Oh, hi, Jamie. That's funny. All right. Linda, I don't know what your guess was, so I don't know what $1.380 means.
Well, she upped that to a hammy sandwich 225. So
All right.
the winner round one would be catnip. The item is $25, and it is available
Wow.
on Etsy because
Wow.
it's very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It would freak me out. All right.
And the next item up for bid, and no cheating, don't go to the actual listing. Just click that link for the picture.
No. All right, let's see. Funny.
And we should all have one of those outside our door.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, that's cute. That is actually cute. Let's see. Hmm. I'd say around $25. That'd be my guess. That is actually really cute. We actually are At our front door, we have a Spider-Man one because our grandson is 4, and Marvel is like his favorite thing. Went to the furniture store a few weeks ago and got new stuff for Gavin's room for his birthday and new desk and whatever for all his gaming shit. And they had little welcome mats with all the Marvel superheroes. So outside our door, we have Spider-Man. So, here goes my phone.
Yeah, it's a doormat.
Yeah, really cute.
American pricing, yeah. Linda, I put a link in up above a little bit to the image of the item.
That's cute. When Spider-Man gets tore up, I might get this. my family watches crime shows whether they want to or not. Some of the stories Wayne will get into. Like last night, I was after Paul's I didn't get a chance to watch everything before Paul went live, and I watched it after everybody. You know, what pissed me off the most was Joseph's dad. It really starts with parents. If they were never put in foster care, this would have never happened. Are you kidding me? That's what you say. I'm so aggravated with him. Anyway.
Yeah, the law and crime panelists did one of their discussions today, and they were all saying, well, it's normal for him to react like that. And, well, the judge shouldn't have mentioned it. And I'm like, whoa. I called them right out on their video. I tweeted at them. I'm like, no, right. Stop it. I was like, no, I'm not having that.
Yeah, no, Wayne was watching that, and he's like, what the hell is wrong with that guy? I'm like, I have no idea. It was so inappropriate the way he said it. I don't know. It just bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah, and I thought the judge responded in a very classy, very diplomatic way, but made his point. We're not victim blaming here.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we've got 4 bids in. Any other bid for the carpet, the doormat? Going once, going twice. And the winner is Whirly Woo. The actual price of the item is $37.93. Good job, Whirly.
Wow. That's one hell of a doormat. Spider-Man was $15, man.
I still have my Halloween one outside on my door because I haven't changed it yet.
Funny.
I like funny. Halloween.
I love Halloween's my favorite. I do the whole house.
Yep. All right, the next item up for bid, and this is something that I would get if I didn't just get my hair cut. So, there's my image address.
Funny.
Sorry, lots of clicking. I don't have it as fast as I do links in chat. All right, the next item is True Crime hair ties, which are adorable. I like the blood spatter one, of course.
Oh, funny. Oh, caution tape. That'd be freaking hilarious. Oh, I love the caution tape one. There's a 4. I guess around $20. That'd be my guess.
Jamie, I would do that, but Halloween's almost like a couple months away, so just leave it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's almost time. Yeah, people are already getting their pumpkin spice stuff out. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's beginning of August. Chill the fuck out with your pumpkin spice.
It's got to be cold for some pumpkin spice, at least cooler.
Yeah, I mean, too much. Yeah, the fingerprint one is cool, Catnip. Absolutely. Oh, actually, hold on.
I would think for $35.59, Linda, you could buy 400 yards of all this ribbon instead of just 4 little hair ties.
Right. Right. You could just hit up Hobby Lobby, spend $10 and you got it made, man. I don't know.
Any more bids for the hair ties? Going once, going twice, and we have 100% winner, Travis, at $4.99.
Wow.
This man knows his hair ties. That's not bad. That's a good price for us.
Bad.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
And those are very cute.
That was our kid, actually. I actually saved it. I'm like, they're fun. My daughter-in-law is really into like true crime and stuff too. So her and I can like talk about all the shows we watch in different cases or whatever. And everybody's like,
Excellent.
oh my God, like you guys.
And next up, and a really good t-shirt that's really kind of true for probably a lot of us.
Let's see.
Hey, Eric Cozy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I could personalize this a little bit, yeah, this is perfect. So it's a t-shirt.
That is a t-shirt, yep.
Let's say $22.99. Hey Richard, what's up? Come on down. That's funny. Let's see.
After the trial we just watched, you don't want a chicken dinner. No chicken. No chicken this week.
Yeah.
How about a nice
exactly.
steak?
I still can't. That whole thing was so dumb. I can't with that.
All right, so bids on the t-shirt. Denise said $22.99, I think.
Yeah. Catnip, what are you having deja vu about? Deja vu always freaks me out. I used to have deja vu a lot, like in my 20s. It was not constant, but a lot. And then now it's kind of chilled out. So fine by me. But it's interesting when you get it. So now I'm interested in what Catnip got deja vu about. Yeah. Yeah, this is the Bible study.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Gotta go,
I,
Cats on Fire.
yeah, I went to Catholic school all my life. I'm really good on Bible study. Thank you. All right. The t-shirt and game, so weird. Huh. Interesting.
All right, so we got 3 bids on the t-shirt: $22.99, $19.99, and $27. Any other bids? Let's see who's gonna win. Going once, twice, and it is sold to Linda K. The actual price
Oh,
is $17.
wow.
Yay, Linda! All right, 2 more items. Let me see who wins.
Uh-oh.
Now this one is one I actually really would like to get for myself, and I probably will just because it's cute. This is a true crime charm bracelet, because who doesn't need that?
Oh,
Except maybe Travis, but you never know.
gosh. Oh, fun. What's with the fork, knife, and spoon?
Well, food crimes?
Yeah, maybe.
There should be a chicken leg on there.
Right. Did you see the one I posted in Discord about the guy getting pissed off about the mac and cheese? I'm like,
I did.
get the
Yep.
hell out of town. Somebody wake up and somebody's making mac and cheese and you flip your shit. Oh my God. All right. So my guess would be
It is not sterling silver, if that's figuring into your price. It's just whatever metal they use. Cheap.
I love the cassette tape on there. That's pretty fun. My guess would be like $29.99.
We're doing a Price is Right game, T1.
We're
Guess
doing
the
an
price
auction. Yep.
of the true crime bracelet.
All right. Allie is talking to me, so hopefully
Oh,
she jumps
good.
in here in a minute. Yeah, hopefully she jumps in here in a minute.
All right, so this true crime charm bracelet, handcrafted on Etsy with beautiful balloons, which I think those are balloons. I don't know what that's crimey, but balloon
Yeah,
crimes be our next video.
I guess it looks like a little Volkswagen little bug there. Is that supposed to be
Yes,
for crazy pants?
for our friend Ted. Yeah.
Yeah, our friend said.
All
Poor
right,
Ted.
so The winner of the True Crime Charm bracelet is, let's see. That would be Eric Cozy. Woohoo! At $14.99. Actual
Wow.
retail price is $17.54.
You get it, Bob Barker. You get it. Oh my gosh. That's
I
so
watched that
funny.
show growing up all the time. I love
I
Price
did
is Right.
too. It's always we actually have it set to DVR. Like we still watch it. We watch it like we record the whole week and then watch it on the weekend. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. But when I was a kid, I always associated a sick day with The Price is Right because I'd be with my grandparents and they watched it religiously. So it always like I don't know. I always associate it with a sick day, and then we'd watch it
Yep.
anyway.
Yes. Every time I stay home from school, you stay home and watch The Price is Right. That's the thing.
Exactly.
All right, the last item, and this is really poor taste. I didn't make it, but it's like I couldn't resist this one. A Dahmer's Deli wooden cutting board set.
Oh my god.
I'm like, oh, that is awful. What can you imagine serving a cheese board on that with your guests?
I don't even have words for that. Like that's something.
Oh man. I can't believe someone would have thought to make that, and spent the time actually crafting them to sell. It's like, wow.
That's insanity. I don't even know what to say. Like I'm like stunned.
All right, but it's made of wood, so it's not gold, so it's not hundreds of dollars. So enter your bids. Linda, all this stuff is on Etsy. The Etsy has some crazy things, man. Crazy things. All right, Catnip's in for $19.99.
Yeah. I'll go $14.99.
Linda's at 26. Denise at 14.
What a mess.
And that was my husband. Travis at $49.99. He knows quality when he sees it.
Exactly. Yep. That's handcrafted. I mean, I don't. Oh my god. Does Etsy show you? I thought some of the stores showed you how many items were sold. Of a certain thing. Does it show it on that?
Oh, it might. I'm looking at the listing and I don't see how many of that item were sold.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
All right, let's closing the bids on the Dahmer cutting board. And the winner is, who do we got? Linda K. Linda K. The actual item is $25, so you're within $1.
That's funny. Yeah, exactly, Catnip. I'd be like, no, I'm fasting today. Thanks anyway.
I guess we're doing real prices right. Well, she went over, but it's still within $1, so she was closest.
Right.
And so let me do a little quick math. Linda, you're the winner of the game. Oh my God. So Linda, what that means is if you go here, let me get you a link. This is for Linda. Go there, pick out a t-shirt you want, and you're with me in Discord, so you can post me your address, and you will be sent a free Toxic Bliss t-shirt. Yay! You'll be the first one to have one. You will be the first owner of the Toxic Bliss t-shirt.
That's funny. Yay, Linda. That's fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That cutting board is blowing my mind.
I know.
Like Travis and that is bizarre. I don't, and people have that. That's fine, but no, I'm good.
Getting an Uber from Colborne in a RAV4. Oh my God.
Right?
That's kind of the same thing. Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
I'll walk, thanks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's insanity. All right.
That would be something else.
You guys need to look at Alan's stuff. She did a really good job designing it. It's super cute. Oh man. What the hell? That's so funny.
I put the premium hoodie in the shop with the smaller logo because that's what I wanted. But It only goes up to 2X, which would fit, but I like giant hoodies. I want to pull the
Mm-hmm.
hoodie down to my feet and like sit in it like a tent. And
Exactly.
and I'm like, 2X? Are you kidding me? You know? Ah.
Right.
So I was mad.
Yeah. A hoodie, I don't like them. Like now, like in the last few years, you notice like Nike and Under Armour have gone to like women's hoodies, and they're like the slim fit. They're cute as
Yeah.
can be, but they just no, I can't do it. I need like the classic one. Thanks anyway.
Yep. Yep. The regular hoodie on the store that goes up to like 5X tall or some crazy thing. But it has
Right.
the big logo. And I like to be incognito and use the little logo, you know. So I'm like, well, I gotta fix that and change it. Oh, come on,
Yeah.
Teespring. I want giant tent hoodies.
Right.
You're supposed to sit
Quick.
out by the campfire and curl up in it, you know, and
Yeah.
put it over your
Exactly.
knees, and it's supposed to be like a giant blanket. That's what I like
Yep.
my hoodies to be.
Like a snuggie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Let's see. Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
Nope, I had to blow my nose, so I muted.
Oh,
Sorry,
I got you.
muted for 1 second.
Oh no, it's fine.
It's not a good sound, you know.
Oh no, you're good.
Oh,
Trying to
thank
see
you,
here.
Lee. I designed the logo myself, but because I'm not a graphic artist, I couldn't make it do exactly what I envisioned. So I hired the same artist that did Paul's logo, and I sent him my
Mm-hmm.
mock-up and said, "This is exactly what I want, but make it look like my 5-year-old didn't do it in MS Paint." You
Right.
know? And he did. And I was
Yeah.
very happy with it.
Yeah. I have a couple ideas. I want to get hold of him, but I want to wait till I have a firm idea because I keep going back and forth. You know what I mean? I want to like
Yep.
so, but I don't want
Now,
to.
he's a great artist, and I saw a lot of his own designs. And Paul's design was his own design.
Yeah.
And I thought about just letting him loose and seeing what he came up with, but the yin yang thing, that just like that's too perfect. I can't let go of that. So
Yeah. It
I made
looks
it up.
so good.
But yeah, he's great. It's really cheap too. It was like
Yeah.
$40, and he
Mm-hmm.
returns it to me like the very next day, and I'm like, whoa,
Wow.
all
I
right.
know that. I was reading I was reading like his little profile or whatever, and he's like, yeah, within 48 hours. I'm like, dang, dude. Like, but I guess if you do that, it's easy because to me, it would take me like a week to make it just the way I want.
Yeah.
So,
I got it as close as I could, but I don't know how to do all the fancy graphics, make the program do what I want it to do. So I said,
right.
well, he'll figure it out.
Exactly.
That's his
This is
job.
your job.
Yep. Yep. So we're also working on our website. Paul and I want to have a joint website so that you can get to it. If you go to awinreese.com or reportinglivefrommysofa.com, it'll take you to a mirrored site. So we'll host
Yeah.
all of our podcasts there, all the YouTubes, everything in
Hmm.
one place. And I told the guys, like, I'm going to need a suite of graphics for this. He's like, all
Yeah.
right, just let me know. I'm like, awesome. That
Yeah.
problem sorted.
Exactly.
Yeah, I will,
It's
Lily.
interesting to do all this stuff. I mean, I love to play with it. I've always kind of played with it since you were able to on the computers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I can't take it to that next step where I want it. Like I don't have that. I don't have that ability or patience really.
Well, one of the things I used to do, remember I started AOL back when we were on like Windows 3.1
Right.
many decades ago. And one of the things
Right.
we
Yeah.
do,
Windows 95.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you were living if you had Windows 95. Man,
yep.
that was the shit.
But we got this program called Paint Shop Pro, PSP, and I still use that to this day. But we were in groups where we would make graphics for people's profiles, and we call them tags. And you could do all kinds of stuff with it. And we thought we were just the cat's ass of graphic designers, you know, all of us little
Yeah.
stay-at-home moms making little pictures. But we could make them glittery and animated and all this stuff. But I haven't touched it since like 1999. And I'm like, all right, I don't remember how to make this program work. And I'm supposed to make
Yeah.
logos and stuff. Okay, no problem. So yeah,
That's
had to
funny.
hire a professional. But I miss those days. We used to
Yeah.
do a lot of fun stuff like that.
Right. 3.1, right? So, Catnut, you would sing and dance at the same time? I think I'd rather be forced to dance because I could at least make that singing would be terrible.
Forced to sing or dance. I'd probably choose sing because, I studied voice, so I'd be
Well,
comfortable with that.
your voice is amazing. Why don't you just sing us a song now? Goodness. If you start singing and, oh my.
I have anxiety, sinus issues, maybe someday, but,
Yeah.
dancing is not something I try to let anybody see me do because I really get into it. I love dancing as long as there's nobody within 100 miles of me.
Exactly. Like the dancing when you're cleaning the house,
Yes.
that kind of. That's
It's
funny.
fun. Makes vacuuming cool.
Exactly. You're just, yeah, it's so funny. We all do it.
Yep.
I've only been caught a few times, but it's usually my kids, and they're like, "What the hell?"
I used to do it in my mom's kitchen. She had a hardwood floor in the kitchen that was really slippery, and so I'd put on my fuzzy socks and put on George Michael because I love George Michael. But I would pretend that I was on stage singing. I'd be dancing all over the kitchen, sliding around the floor, and she'd come home from work and be like, "The hell are you doing?" I was like, "I'm on stage, Mom. Leave me alone."
Yeah, you're
like, oh my God.
sliding around like it's risky business.
Yeah, and she's like, "Get out of the kitchen. Go to your room."
That is hilarious.
Like, yep, you just don't appreciate my talent, Ma. That's all. Yeah, that was fun. And that's the only time I will dance is when I have a nice slippery floor and no one's watching.
Yeah. My oldest son got married last May, and there was a mother-son dance. And he's like, "Oh, Mom." So first he wanted me to be like one of the, which I would have done if we would have had the time, like break out one of those crazy dances, and like do something stupid. And we didn't have time for many reasons. So we were up there, and like a third of the way through the song, we're both just standing there talking. I'm like, "This is so stupid. Like, just stop the music because this is dumb." Like we were just not into it.
Do you see what Jamie said in chat?
Sloppy development. Hold on one second. What do you need, Gavin? Cardboard.
Jamie, that's too funny. I can picture that so clearly.
That's funny. Catnip in my mind. I'm always on stage, right? We have a karaoke set up in our garage, and people like our garage used to be like for the first 8 years we lived here, our garage was a hangout for everybody. And we'd sing karaoke all the time, and now I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Like I look at the pictures and videos, I'm like, what the hell were we thinking? Oh, the tree. It's okay. Oh, sing like I got Tourette's. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we saw some of your dance moves, Linda, in the rally house. We were having a good time. Yeah, come on over for karaoke. It's pretty fun.
We should rent that house again and all go just for fun.
Where at? What? Where at? We have a box. In the garage. Oh, he and I are here all day together, and I start to do something, and he's like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." I'm like, you're 15. You're too big for this. What the hell? I don't know where shit's at. What do you? You don't know where shit's at. You walked by it 16 times today. Well, I don't know. Get out of here. Because we used to have a big collection of it in here. Remember? I do remember. Sorry. Oh my God. Now he's defending himself. Yeah, he's not shooting. No, he's not. Where's he at? Don't worry about it. What's that supposed to be? Oh Lord. Use a PC. No, Jamie, it doesn't. Nope. Yeah, Linda swears she's coming down here, and we're gonna do something big. I don't know if everybody wants to come down to St. Louis. Come on down, we'll figure out something. I have no idea.
Pitch some tents in the yard. Everyone bring a bag.
We've got room. You could do that. The crazy neighbors, well, we have one crazy neighbor still, but the other ones moved out last week, so. I don't know. There's only 9 houses on the road, so you don't have to worry about too many people. But yeah, there's plenty of room to camp in the yard. Wouldn't that be a shit show?
Could make it a campaign event for Linda.
Right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. See what she says? Like, Denise is throwing me a big into the summer party. Well, somebody needs to tell Denise that she's doing that. What the shit?
She just did. There you go.
Right, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see what else. She's a mess. Let's see. This thing's actually pretty cool. This platform. I don't know how Paul found this, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, it works great. And I like the ability to put your own taglines in the bottom, and that's really cool. They need to let us add custom pictures.
Yeah.
I want a picture.
I don't know if you... You know what you might be able to do is connect it. If you connect it to your YouTube account, like
I did.
Just, and it still doesn't let you do it?
Yep. I thought it would automatically just use my YouTube image, but it doesn't. So, but I'm in their Discord group, another Discord. They're a Facebook group, so I'll post a question there and see what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's I mean, it is weird. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know how Paul found this, but it really works well. Would you rather be invisible or able to fly?
Yeah, I want to be invisible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the stuff I could get up to if I was invisible.
No doubt.
We would go to Area 51. Come on.
Yes. Oh, yes. Here we go. Yeah, now they're up over 2 million. I'm like, oh, my God. And then, okay, I'm just going to go on my soapbox for a minute. Yesterday, I saw an article. Now they're deciding that conspiracy theorists, including those that, are going to this Area 51 storm, are now becoming a domestic threat. And the Defense Department is trying to figure out how to combat that.
Well,
so they're
right, though.
They are right in a way, but
in a way, yeah.
I knew it the second this started. I told Wayne, I'm like, they're going to figure out a way to turn this into something where they need money. The Defense Department needs money. Right. I knew it from the beginning, and it's just like, damn, like, what the hell? So, I don't know. I'm just going to like Naruto. Yeah, Kevin's like, just Naruto run. You'll be fine. Yep. So ridiculous. I don't know. That's frustrating to me, but we'll see. Now they're up over 2 million people. So,
oh, man.
I don't know.
I hope they don't show up there. I really do, because not just the base, but the town. That tiny 54 people live in Rachel.
Right.
I mean, that's not going to end well. If even if 100,000 people show up out of the 2 million, that's going to cripple that entire area.
It's going to be a mess. They're going to have to fly into Vegas. That's why I said I just want to fly to Vegas and sit in the airport and watch, because it's going to be some good people watching. And I get that people are interested, but the people that are interested are not informed about really what they're doing. You know what I mean? And that's the part that frustrates me. I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, just learn something, would you?
Yeah, so, Area 51 is just down the road. It's a 26-mile hike in the desert, uphill.
Right.
It's like, it's not going to work. And these are millennial hippies. I think they're going to walk 26 miles. I don't think so.
Yeah, 26 miles past all the camo dudes, and plus whatever the Defense Department decides to do.
Yeah.
There's you can see articles there. Right. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. I would love to be invisible and go there and watch the shit go down, because people think, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to stream it live. Bullshit. You're not going to get no Wi-Fi out there. You're not going to have crap. I don't know.
And the bottom line,
Dumbasses.
we know that Area 51 is a military base. It's where they do research and development with Lockheed Martin. They call it Skunk Works, and they're working on things that
Hmm.
we don't want our enemies to know about. You know, nobody
Right.
should want.
There's probably things I don't want to know about. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like there's such a thing as too much information, and
right.
if it's crazy and gonna do crazy shit, then you just keep it under lock and key. I don't want to know because
Yeah.
then I'd be afraid of that shit.
Yeah.
So
Well, with all the
ridiculous.
crap going on in the world right now with North Korea, and we don't want our enemies knowing what's in Area 51. So storming it is a
Right,
really stupid idea. You know?
right. Because now, so then what? We have bloodshed on our in our country because of somebody's stupidity, and
Yeah.
something horrible is going to happen, and that's the scariest part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
in
don't
my
know.
head, the Area 51 raid plan, that is a domestic threat,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
they need to
and
stop that.
I
But
feel bad. Yeah, I feel bad for the guy who made the original post because like he's been interviewed multiple times now, and he's like, well, like this was not what I expected. He's like, it was a
right.
joke.
Yep.
And all these people are doing this, and he's like, what the hell? So I feel bad for him if, in fact, something crazy does happen. I mean, my God, that poor guy. You know, I don't know. I mean, I get the fascination with Area 51. I have it. I was always curious. And, what makes people so curious is that they denied it for so long. No, it doesn't exist, doesn't exist. No, 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 no. And then in 2013, when they came up, the FOIA documents were released, and they had to be like, "Oh yeah, you got us. It's real, and this is what we do there." So
Yep.
that the denial is what made people so into it. And then of course you go back to Roswell. So if Roswell never would have happened,
Yep.
nobody would have ever gave a shit about Area 51.
Yeah, but see the
So
Roswell stuff. I live right across the lake from Carswell Air Force Base, which is now Jack's NRSB or something. It used to be Carswell Air Force Base. That was the original spot where they brought the Area 50 or the Roswell debris. It
uh
came here before it went over to what was it, Andrews or wherever it went? I forget the final destination. But it's like, oh
right,
guys, come here instead. Go to this base if you want. It's open. You can do tours. Come on over here. Just leave Area 51
right,
alone because you're gonna get shot.
exactly. I mean, I no, I don't get it. There's a reason why it's in the middle of nowhere. There's a reason for it. I just
Well, that's
it,
also one of the big nuclear testing grounds. The Nevada test site is out there, and there were tons of nuclear bombs that were exploded in that whole vicinity. You don't
right.
go walking through there. That's not smart.
No,
You
and
know?
you can see you can read articles people who have worked there that have become sick. They've gotten strange kinds of cancers,
Hmm.
all sorts. Like you see pictures of these crazy rashes. I mean, all the okay. Another sidebar: all the trash and anything from out there stays there. Nothing leaves there. So any of the chemicals, anything they try to destroy, and that's just there. So these
Yep.
people are getting all these crazy diseases just from working there. You can bet your sweet ass that's the last damn place I want to go because I don't want that shit. And of course they
Yep.
sue, but the government doesn't. They can't win against the government because all the
Right.
government's going to say is we don't have those chemicals. We didn't cause this.
Yep.
Because if they admitted they caused it, then they have to admit all the crazy shit they have, and that's not going to happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just like with Bob Lazar, saying all the stuff he said, and they're like, "Oh, he never worked here." Because if they admitted anything about him, then that makes all his
Well,
stuff true. So it goes back and forth.
my idea of Bob Lazar is I don't think he worked there because of the things that he says, like his whole element 115 thing. For
Mm-hmm.
a particle physicist, him saying, "Oh well, I had a stable isotope of element 115." No, you dingus, that's a transuranic element. There's no such thing as a stable isotope of 115. It's complete baloney. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I have issues with Bob Lazar, but he seems. I watched his documentary. He seems like he's telling the truth. He doesn't have a lot of the cues that you watch for when someone's lying and prevaricating.
yeah,
He's very believable, except when you start to really listen to what he's saying about what he saw there and did there. I'm like, nah, that's not even possible. So
Right.
what are you
I
talking
mean,
about? You know?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. He became such a like a pop culture icon in a sense because he was like the
Yep.
first one, you know.
Yep. Well, we
And
want
and
to
I
believe
feel like
him.
yeah, you want to believe him, but I also can see where he has I guess not maybe not so much exaggerated, but he's kind of padded some things in my opinion to make it more shocking, you know,
Yep.
like
Yes.
and that's I don't know. I want to believe him, and I kind of do, but then another part of me is like, that dude's bullshit.
Yep. Well,
But
we have
then you,
video. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
We have video of them trying to develop a flying saucer, a literal saucer craft with a person sitting in the middle of it, that our
Mhm.
government tried to develop to get it to fly, and they couldn't really make it work. It's possible he worked there and he was on that project. I worked on when we tried to, but he had to turn it into, this whole anti-gravity thing that they were
Yeah,
working on in Element One. It's
right
like, oh, just if you just stuck with the truth, we tried to make little flying saucers, and here's a video of it. Oh, okay, cool. I can
right.
go with that, That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fun. What's wrong with that? We don't have to have aliens.
No, I mean, my thing with like Bob Lazar, like for the when like the time period where he started telling the story, like it'd be like hard. It's not as easy. It wasn't as easy then as it is now to make up bullshit online, and you
Right.
know what I mean, like manipulate information.
Yep.
So, I always that part I was like, well, maybe maybe he is telling the truth because who knows? Either he's
Right.
telling the truth or he just really has a vivid imagination. I don't know.
Yep.
So,
And his whole thing about, well, I worked at Los Alamos, and I'm like, all right. And there is an article, a newspaper article, showing that the scientist from Los Alamos, and it shows Bob Lazar and names him, but of course Los Alamos says he didn't work there. So they're like, okay, either he really did, and the government's covering it up for some reason, which certainly would give him more credibility. But
right,
is that true? And he said he went to MIT. MIT says no, he didn't. He said he went to Caltech. Caltech says no, he didn't. But his argument to that is, well, they don't hire you at Los Alamos if you're a high school graduate. You kind of have to have a sciencey degree to get hired there. I'm like, yeah,
right,
that's a good point.
yeah,
So
exactly.
you can really go back and forth with him, but the
Hmm.
physics that he talks about of what he worked on in section 4 is just, it's so implausible that I can't believe that. So I think maybe he worked there, maybe he was on the little saucer project, and he just blew it up for funsies and made it something
Maybe.
it's not. I don't know, but I really don't think we have aliens there. I really don't. It would be
Mm,
fun, you know
yeah,
if
like
Independence Day, that movie was real, that would be a lot of fun. I'd like to
right.
go see that.
In my opinion, is if they ever had anything that was extraterrestrial or paranormal, whatever you want to call it, it's not there now. I mean, the thing is now that once they admitted it was there, like anything that was like super 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 crazy is not there anymore. It's somewhere else. In
Right.
my opinion, is the problem that they have now is that you can go to Google Earth, put in Groom Lake, and poof, it shows you Area 51, all the
Right.
buildings, everything. So civilian technology is now allowing us to see all these things. So there's always been rumors of like underground stuff, which makes perfect sense because but you could see the whole world now. You could pick up on things, and people do it all the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just,
Yep.
I feel like anything that was once they had to formally admit that Area 51 did exist, anything that people might have thought or believe that was there, not I don't believe it's there anymore. If it ever was,
If it ever was, yeah. Now,
yeah,
because I'm studying astrophysics, and a lot of what I do is exoplanets and things like that. And for me, I want nothing more than to meet another race from another planet, from another solar system, from another
right,
galaxy. I want
right.
that so bad, because I do believe that it's impossible for us to be the only sentient life forms in the universe. I think it's
Hmm,
just impossible.
I
But
do too.
given what I know about interstellar things I can't pronounce, like interstellar travel, in order
That's funny.
for another civilization to have reached a level to be able to contact us or see us or vice versa, we would know that if they were within possible range, because of like the whole Drake equation that explains it really well. But it's like
Yeah.
I want to believe in UFOs so bad. If one came and landed in my yard, I would be the happiest person in the world, in the universe. But do I think that we have real aliens here now? No, not a chance. And that it makes me really sad to say that. 'Cause, we got to meet them someday. I want Star Trek and stuff. I'm gonna go sailing through the galaxy, meet other races and cultures and people, and be part of Starfleet.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it is naive to think that we are like the only life form in all of
Absolutely.
everything. That's ridiculous. It's interesting to kind of imagine what other life forms there are, and
Hmm.
you know, and then you kind of wonder, like, like we can't be the best. Like, there's got to be something better than this. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, somebody else has already figured this shit out. Let's go see what they've got
Yep.
going.
And
So,
that was what we would call a type 1 civilization. A type 1 would be classified as a civilization on a planet which has managed to harness all of the energy from their sun in their solar system and use that to fuel their civilization. And that is the type of civilization that would be able to travel either all the way across our galaxy or even from another galaxy to get here. But if there was such a civilization, we would be able to pick up on it. We would
yeah,
see stuff, from the Hubble and all of our observations. We could see them, be like, oh, hey, there's something there. Now we have two stars that we've recently discovered, Tabby's star and another one, that have some really weird dimming patterns. There's something going on with these stars, and a lot of people are theorizing, oh, maybe that's a type 1 civilization. And so real astrophysicists are looking at this and saying,
yeah.
maybe that's what we're starting to see. Maybe we're starting to find something like that. It's not really likely, but it's certainly on the table and it's being discussed. So the people are really looking into these things, but the talk about the UFOs and stuff here and aliens in Area 51 kind of detracts from what's really going on, these really giant discoveries of the
Right.
universe. As much as we want them. And I think that's why we love these conspiracies, is because we want
Hmm.
aliens. We want to believe there's somebody out there smarter than us who can come fix our mess,
Right.
help save us,
Yeah. I mean, I do. Here's the thing. I believe in ghosts. I believe in paranormal stuff, and it kind of falls into that same thing. So if you're gonna believe in that sort of thing, then I feel like paranormal and like extraterrestrial kind of falls into the same category.
I
You
kind
know,
of think so too. I believe in ghosts too. I have a
yeah,
lot of ghosty experience. I used to live in Salem,
hmm,
Mass, and we did a lot of ghost stuff. And I've had experiences that there's nothing in physics that can explain it.
right,
Nothing. So,
exactly,
but the alien thing, I think because I have the physics knowledge behind that, I can
hmm,
easily see where it's not possible.
right,
But then
yeah,
you listen to some of these alien stories like the Betty and Barney Hill that Linda posted.
yeah,
What? There's no explanation for that, and so you're
yeah,
like, oh dear, what is this, so
yeah,
I am very skeptical, but at the same time I'm very open-minded, very
right,
open-minded.
yeah.
So
I mean, you can't prove it either way, so you might as well just keep your mind open. You never know. Maybe you'll get a visitor and you'll confirm something. Who knows?
yep, I would love to. And every time we go outside at night, I'm always watching the sky to look for a UFO. 'Cause I would love to see
Yeah,
something, but then I would think, okay,
hmm,
let's see, what astronomical anomaly could that possibly be? And I'd run it through all the science
right,
filters in my head first. But would
right.
I love to see a UFO? Oh, you betcha.
Yeah, yeah. You betcha. Hey Don, this
Hi,
is
Don.
yeah, Don's like she has a radio voice. I need to know who she is. So this is our friend Eowyn Reese. She has a really kick-ass podcast. And she is awesome. Yes, her voice is the most soothing thing I've ever heard in my life. Everybody loves her voice. He said you have a voice for radio.
I kind of think I might want to do radio or something like that, voiceovers or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because then I could stay invisible and still like have a job.
Yeah.
That might be kind of fun. But yeah, hi Don. I'm Awen. I work with Paul over at Reporting Live from My Sofa, and we do true crime and paranormal and science and GLO-MaM, all kinds of stuff. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
I have my fingers in everything. That's what I do. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 24 years, and what I've done in that time is read the internet. Really, that's all I could say is I've read the internet.
Exactly.
Now what? Yeah, the internet
Yeah.
still. I'm married. Sorry, very, very happily married to my true love. But the internet, for me, growing up with telephones attached to the wall with cords that you couldn't walk away from,
Right.
The internet is like, what? I want to know about this. Type. Oh, look, everything I wanted to know is right there. It blows my mind how much information we have access to. So that's all I've done is I've studied stuff for 24 years because I want to know everything before I die. So I got to get going.
Exactly. That's I always feel like I can talk about almost anything because I want to know everything. I read all kinds of stuff, like the most ridiculous, like the mac and cheese article, and then I'm reading the article we were just talking about with the Defense Department. So like anything in between, I want to read everything. I want to know everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And there's no excuse not to know something in this day and age.
Right.
You want to know what a transuranic element is? Google it. You'll have 10,000 articles, 400 YouTubes, everything.
I'll just ask you. I'll be like, hey, explain this.
Yeah, I went back to college online. You can take online. You don't have to leave your desk.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so, I did that.
I have a lot of fun.
It was, yeah.
Just reading chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, my podcast. I'm not sure if it'll be up your alley, Don. It's not true crime. That one is about my personal story of surviving a narcissist. Which
Don will like it. Don's pretty cool. He'll like it.
Cool.
Yeah, Don's awesome.
It's definitely
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen Don in a while. Somebody linked me to a study today that someone was doing about, have you ever been involved with someone you think is a psychopath? I'm like, yeah, hello, over here. And they said, send us one example. Study? Yep, they're doing a study about it. And they said, send me one example of something they did. I was like, one? Dude, I have 18 episodes up. Come on.
Wow.
We talk about Carmen, the making a murderer, Carmen?
Carmen Botwell? Is that what you want done? That's funny. I don't know. What? I'm busy with my posse. You have thousands. What are you talking about, Linda? Uh-oh. Yeah, your Justice Mobile. Yeah. You still have all your things on your car, Don? Awen at Raleigh, he had all these stickers on his car, and he was driving around, like blasting Stacy's music all around Manitowoc. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I saw him in the video. That's Don. Don, I know you. Hi. Oh my God.
Exactly. Yes.
I know you from Eric Cozy's videos from the rally.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yep.
Oh, good night, Whirly. Have a good night's sleep.
Good night, Whirly. Thanks for hanging out. Linda was married to the mob. I know. I would love, my parents are psychopaths. I mean, oh God. And now before Awen and I came on live, we were talking just randomly about experiences and people and whatever. Oh my gosh, it's amazing how similar people's stories are. They're parallel, but they're so different in the same. It's just weird.
Yep. And I think what we're finding is, just look at this chat right now. How many of us here have known a narcissist or psychopath in some form? Probably all of us.
Mm-hmm.
These people are way more common than we think, but it's
Yeah.
starting to come out big time mainstream.
Yeah.
Like I on Twitter and I search for narcissist type Twitter so I can find people to follow for my podcast and stuff. And there are like
Mm-hmm.
hundreds and thousands of accounts called narcissist, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whoa, all right, this is a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
so, so we're all power in numbers. So we'll band together
I'll
and
tell you.
take them down.
Here, I'll give you a story about Wayne's mother-in-law.
Okay.
So my brother has cystic fibrosis. A few years ago, he went through a period of I'm not taking my meds, which everybody does. You can read tons of stories about people who have illnesses that just stop taking their meds because they're just pissed off at the world because they have to take them. So he stopped taking them, and he ended up having to go to the emergency room for breathing. Now, with his cystic fibrosis has always been more of a digestive issue, which is a big deal with cystic fibrosis. He's never really had lung issues. So this time he did. So his mother, my mother, takes him to the emergency room and drops him off the front door and leaves.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I swear this happened. So she leaves. They're basically they were ready to like bend him, put him on, like he was fucked up. So she calls me after she gets home after dropping him off to tell me, he's in the hospital. And at this point, I hadn't talked to her in a couple of years. So this was my first call that I get that my brother's in the hospital. I'm like, okay. So she's like, I'm gonna go back up there in the morning. I'm like, you're not there now? She's like, oh no, they're working on him. He doesn't need me. I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I go up to the hospital. I spend a lot of time there. I come home. Now we live out in the middle of nowhere. The hospital from her house is like 10 minutes. For us, it's like an hour. So she calls me on the Wednesday and she says, I have a really bad headache. Can you come up here? I'm like, why? She's like, well, I really have a bad headache. I need to go home. Okay, fine. She doesn't tell me anything. I get to the fucking hospital. They're pretty much saying that my brother would be lucky to make it through the night. Now she's telling me she's got a bad migraine. I show up, she's reading a fucking book.
Oh my God.
So she leaves. So I called my dad. I'm like, if he dies on my watch, I'm going to kill her too, because what she's doing is putting it all on me.
Right.
Like, so she just, oh my God. And that's pretty much been my last, after that, that was really the icing on the cake. And that's not even the worst thing that she's ever done, but it was the shittiest, like, just, oh my God, just shitty. So I could just go on and on about her.
Yep. Luckily,
anyway, okay, yeah. So
I was gonna say, luckily, I wasn't raised by a narcissist, but he was in and out of our lives, so it's okay. But the pain of being raised by someone, and when you're an adult and you come to terms with the fact that your mom is a real person and not just mom, and you have to let go of that idealization of what mom's supposed to be. Oh.
So when I was 12 years old, I walked into the kitchen and I can picture it like it's happening right now. I looked her straight in the face and I said, I'm going to Nana's house, which was my grandma, and I'm not coming back. And she's like, you will be home, blah, blah, blah. And I literally said, you can fuck off. I'm never coming back to this house. I walked to my Nana's house and never went back. I've never spent the night there. I have never, my time there makes me sick. Going to that house is just horrid to me. So I moved in with my grandparents. So yeah, my bullshit detector pegged pretty early in life. Like I picked up on it really quick and said, no, fuck this, I ain't doing it. And I was 12 and she apologized for that whole experience when I was 28. She's so fucking ridiculous. But anyway, all right. Back to would you rather. All right, that's enough of that. Would you rather lose your keys or your phone?
My keys.
I don't know.
Keys, because my husband has extra sets of keys, so I don't care.
Yeah, if I lost my phone, I don't know what I would do. What did Jamie say? Is this?
Yeah, well, like the Linda, jurors.
I can break in a house. Oh my God, Linda's like, I can hotwire a car. There you go, Linda. That's what we need. Your mom experience.
like the jurors in the trial, they wanted their phones back so they could call their families because they don't know any numbers. They're all stored in their phone. That's what I would be like. I was like, I can't even call 911 because I don't know the number. It's saved in my phone, you know?
Right. Can't call 911. There's no 11 on the phone either. Damn it.
Right. What am I going to
Oh my
do?
gosh. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know. Like keys, I don't know. Then I'd be like, shit, I don't have to go nowhere. Sweet. I'll just stay home.
Yep.
Yeah. Phone would be, I don't know.
And my
I
phone
think
is an extension of me. And I think for most people, this is my first like real cell phone I've ever had because I resisted it forever. I just got it like last year. And now I don't go to the bathroom without it. I don't walk out of my bedroom without it. It is always in my
right.
hand. I can't imagine what I would do if I lost it. So yeah,
Yeah,
take the
I don't
keys,
know.
leave my phone alone.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, no way. I have no idea. Yeah. Could you just? I mean, you always want to say, "Oh, I'm going to have a tech-free day." That's virtually impossible in
Yeah,
this day and age.
it is.
There's no way to have a tech-free day. No way. I mean, you just go sit out in the middle of your yard, but I don't know. There's just not a way. I don't think. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I had an interesting argument with this about my sister back in like 19, I think it was 1998 or something like that. We were in Boston. She had a property management company and I worked for her. And we got one of the very first sets of alphanumeric pagers where instead of just paging a number, they could page you with some text, right? And we were like, of course, I wore that thing like straight up on my chest, like, look what I got. Look, I got a pager, alphanumeric,
Right.
right? I didn't go anywhere without that because I was like, I am just a cat's ass because I got this and I'm awesome, you know?
That's
Right.
funny.
And we were at dinner once and her pager went off and she didn't even look at it. I'm like, Lisa, you gotta look, your pager went off. She's like, yeah, and we're having dinner. She's like, there's nothing that's such an emergency that I can't wait 10 minutes to answer it. I'm like, but you don't know that. Maybe one of our buildings blew up. And she's like, oh, right. Right. So we're sitting at this restaurant, downtown Boston, 500 fire trucks go flying down the street. And I'm like, our building just blew up. And she's like, oh, come on. I'm not looking at my pager. So I grabbed her pager and I called the answering service. I said, guess what? Your building on Burbank Street just blew up. I'm like, told you. This is why
Wow.
we just ran down the street because we're only 2 blocks away. But yeah, our building had blown up. I'm like, this is why you answer your pager. you know, it was kind of an amazing
How
moment.
did
So
it? How did it blow up?
one of our tenants on the top floor decided that he was going to light his gas stove and blow out the pilot and just blow up the building. So he did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was a teenager. I had just rented him the apartment about 2 months prior, and he blew it up. So, and
Wow.
his body was outside of the building in a tree.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, that was quite a thing. But yeah, so yeah, but
Wow.
I learned at that point that there are some things that can't wait 10 minutes for you to answer your pager.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, that was a fun time. Fun times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. God,
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, it was really weird. Of course, it was 2 years of lawsuits and trials, and we had this private investigator, this really old fat guy, bald with a handlebar mustache. He got hired by somebody, and he shows up at the building and he's like, "I can smell methane." I was like, "You asshole! Methane doesn't have a smell. You may smell natural gas, but I don't. But methane doesn't have a smell." I'm like, "So get out!" I threw him out of the building. I was like, "No, no, I'm not playing this game."
Oh my gosh.
It was just nightmare of 2 years of that crap. Ugh.
Lord. Good God. I it just blew up. Thank God you weren't there. Oh my God. Was
Yeah.
anybody else hurt or just him?
Nope, just him, thankfully, because
Yeah.
he had the top middle apartment, so the explosion went upwards. So it
Wow.
blew the roof out and that kind of stuff, but nobody was actually hurt except him. So best case scenario.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Except
Oh
he
my
blew out
God.
like a 200-year-old stained glass window, which really pissed me off because we couldn't replace that, but whatever.
Wow. Jeez Louise.
I like action, Linda. I gotta have action going on. Boring stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was only 19 at the time, so that was my awakening to the adult world of property management.
Yeah. No way. I think that would happen. I've been like, yep, I'm just walking away. Do whatever you got to do. I need something else in my life. Oh, like, jeez Louise. I
Hmm.
don't know. Oh, what a
Yeah, well,
mess.
shortly after that, that was when I moved to Salem, Massachusetts, and started working in a witchcraft store. And that was the time of my life. I loved that so much. Oh, that was a
At the
blast.
witchcraft store?
Yep. Yep. It was amazing.
Oh, talk about that. Like, what did they sell there? I'm like, ooh, this is cool.
It
So
was, we
what?
a lot of books, herbs. One thing that we had was an apothecary where we had jars and jars and jars of herbs and plants and essential oils, and I would mix them into incenses or like oils, like perfume oils or bath salts and stuff. And I was like mad scientist. Like, woohoo, what does this smell like? Let me put these together. Woohoo. And I would just spend all day blending these concoctions. It was so much fun. Oh, I had such a good time in
Wow.
Salem. It's a great little
Huh.
town.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was fun times, man.
So you said in Salem, so then you think of like the Salem witch trials and all that stuff. Wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was a time when witchcraft, Wicca, was becoming like a thing in this country. And so
Yeah.
we had big, conventions where witches from all over the world would come to Salem, and we'd have big ceremonies out on the green, and it was just wild. It was absolutely wild. I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm also glad I outgrew it because it's a little
Right.
crazy, but it was fun at the time.
Oh, I'm sure it was interesting. I would love to go to like all kinds of different. I just want to see. I don't know. You can watch it on TV. Anything now you can find and see stuff. But I want to like experience. I want to be like, what is this all about? Like really, you know. I don't
Yep,
know.
me too. I don't want to watch a documentary if I can be in the middle of it.
Right.
Put me in the middle of
Exactly.
it. Yep.
Yeah. Like just let me go watch. I just want to watch. I won't. I won't cause trouble. I'll just sit in the corner and just,
Oh, I
you
cause
know.
trouble.
Right. Well, we'll go together and I'll bail you out of jail, but I'll just
Okay.
watch. You do what
Yeah.
you got to do.
Yeah, but I'm,
That's
I'm in
funny.
a few documentaries about Salem. Like we did the witch trials tercentenary, and we put a new memorial in the town. And there's a stone with the names of all the people that were killed in the Salem witch trials. And I was part of that ceremony, so there's a documentary on that and the witchcraft stuff with Lori Cabot. Which don't get me started on her, but so yeah, there's a bunch of documentaries that we got to be part of. So it was kind of cool.
That is cool. Yeah,
Peter
that's
Benchley. Nope, I don't believe I know a Peter Benchley. He might have been before or after my time. I was there from like 97 to 2000 maybe, if my
all right.
memory is correct, which I don't even know. No, actually it was before that. 91 to 95ish. Yeah. I'm a whole decade off. Yeah, my daughter was born in 94 and we had moved to Connecticut, so it was before 94. Oh, he wrote Jaws? Aha. Okay, that's why the name sounds somewhat familiar. Thankfully I haven't met Jaws either. Are you there? I can't hear you. I saw you.
All right.
Your
I
profile.
will be
There you are.
right back. Hold on one second.
Okay. Yeah, I worked at the witchcraft shop. I used to do tarot readings and make incense, and we'd hold open circles and really magical witchy stuff. And then we started doing ghost hunting, and that was just, I don't know, man. I saw some stuff I never thought I'd see. And I want to believe in ghosts because of my own experience, but you look at like ghost hunters on TV, they've been on the air for what, 15, 20 years, and they still haven't found a convincing picture of a ghost. So, don't you think by now they might have found something? But I don't know. I don't doubt that what I saw was something supernaturally. But Salem is apparently one of the most haunted towns in the country because it's really old and lots of people died there. And the spooky building is the House of Seven Gables and stuff. Oh, it was so much fun. And now I'm all by myself. Linda, Come on, this thing. I don't want to be alone. I may have to break into song, entertain myself till Denise comes back.
Okay, sorry.
Woohoo.
Wayne came through. I had to talk to him real quick. What did I miss? I'm sorry.
I was just talking about ghost hunting in Salem.
Ooh, that would be
It
awesome.
was spooky fun.
Oh, that would be so cool. I don't know. I believe in all that stuff, so I don't know. You know, all these TV shows about that stuff aggravate me because they're so dramatic, and I just don't. Like I don't know. I believe some of them, but most of them I don't. And one thing that always gets me about those damn shows is that all the ghosts speak English. Isn't that amazing? Like,
imagine that. Yep.
Isn't that just like the easiest thing ever? Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I like watching them because I like watching spooky stuff, but like you figure after 10 years of ghost hunters, they would have found something convincing that wasn't obviously faked,
Right.
and it's like, oh. So, but then again, my own personal experiences, there's nothing that will explain some of the things I saw and felt. Nothing. And I'm left feeling like, okay, that was real and that was freaky. Let's do it again.
Right. Exactly.
It was awesome.
Yeah, there's some weird things that have gone on, and things are just weird timing, different. I don't know, I don't even know the word. Like, events is not the word, but just different moments where you're like, whoa, hold up a second.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hard to put into words.
Yeah. And we'd see things as a group because we always go as a group. And we were at one of my friend's house. She had an apartment in Salem, really, really old building. And we heard a noise in the bathroom. So her and I got up to go look. And we look in the bathroom and we see all these sparkly colored lights, like glitter, but all different colors in the blackness of the bathroom. And I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, something wrong with my eyes. And she said, no, I see it too. And so we called others over and they're like, whoa, that's so pretty. So, we hadn't said, hey, we see this. We said, hey, come look at this. It's like, whoa, look at all those colors. Oh, that's so pretty. It's like glitter. And there's like 8 of us standing there looking in this bathroom at this glittery stuff. Like, what is this? You can't explain that. And you turn on the light and it was gone. That's it. Nothing. Turn the light back off and it's totally black like normal. And I can't explain that. There's nothing in physics that does that,
Right.
But if we all saw it, I'm not crazy. So what on earth? Not like we were doing drugs or anything,
Right. My papa, like, who I lived with, my nan and papa, my papa was like my BFF, and he would always tell me crazy stories. I mean, he was so much fun. But he always told me this ghost story when they first moved up here to St. Louis, after they first got married and my mom and aunt were born. They lived in this apartment down in the city, and he said, oh yeah, we had a ghost. I'm like, whatever, because he always told me bullshit stories, so it's not like I didn't believe everything he said because I knew he was bullshit.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we had this ghost. The wife died, and then the husband apparently lived by himself in this apartment that they lived in. And he got up every morning and he cooked breakfast and whatever. He tells me this whole big long thing and how you could hear noises and this and that. And I'm like, whatever. Well, he passed away in 1994, and my Uncle Bill, who is batshit crazy too, he's so much fun. He's like, oh damn, remember that time we all stayed in that apartment and that damn ghost came down the hall? And I was like, pardon? He's like, yeah. He's like, we were there at the apartment, he's like, and we're sitting in the living room and you could hear in the kitchen, it sounds like somebody's cooking. And I'm like, get the hell out of town. I'm like, maybe he wasn't lying to me. My Uncle Bill was like, no. He's like, I damn near shit my pants because I thought he was lying to me too. And I heard it. And I'm like, oh my God. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is pretty cool. Linda, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up, people?
Madam President.
Am I echoing?
Right. No.
Oh.
Everything's good.
Cool.
Yep.
Hey, everyone. Yep. What's up out there?
Yay, it's Linda.
Hey, they don't got no pictures, man. And I ain't putting my face on here. Heck no, I'll be looking like a nasty little girl.
Yeah.
No, I just look terrible. I was out with my granddaughter out in the sun and all that crap,
Yeah, we gotta figure out how to do pictures.
This works great. I think you got to pay. Pay the $20. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's $25 a month. Paul's paying for it because it's the best way to Hangouts.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay for it because you get to get a logo or the whole shebang.
Yeah, I actually like this better than Hangouts. Actually.
Yep, it sounds better too. It doesn't clip. With Hangouts, if you talk over each other, it just clips and makes all kinds of noise. This doesn't seem to do that.
Plus, I like the fact you can put things up.
And you're able to do you can do the banners and the different stuff and, just do whatever. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Linda, you have ghost stories, don't you? Linda?
Nope. I really do. I have real life ones. I do. I was only joking. But I don't know if I want to get into them. I can't because these things are like cutting out. Am I cutting out? It's cutting out in my ear. All right. Well,
you
okay.
sound fine.
All right. No, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I think I don't know. I can't think of any. Not that I want to share in public without people thinking I'm a wag job.
I have a good graveyard story.
No, you are not a whack job.
My granddaughter did something in a graveyard. But my daughter used to live by a graveyard in Watertown, Minnesota, which is very haunted. And there's a graveyard there, and it has really old graves, like 1800s, okay? Mm-hmm. And my granddaughter would always want to go over there and play. And she's like 2 years old, okay? She's barely talking, all right? But she would want to go dance in the gazebo because she said there was a grandpa and a grandma dancing in there. I didn't see them, but she did every time. And she always seen this farmer pumping the water out of the water pump that was there. She was pumping the water, and there was nobody there. But she seen it. And she also seen a little boy crying and said, Nana, that little boy cry. And I said, what little boy? I go over there and there's a grave site with a little boy baby and a mom next to him. And I said, you tell that little boy to go to his mom and he's waiting for him. Because I didn't know what else to say to her because she was really seeing this. She was devastated. I mean, she was crying. She's 2 years old. Little kids don't make that kind of stuff up,
Right. Yeah, Austin's best friend, my oldest son's best friend, when he was little, he had an imaginary friend, and he would always talk to him and always play with them and this was for about a year and a half. And his mom Debbie was like, yeah. One day he was just talking, and he goes, hey, Robbie, why don't we do this? And Linda's like, Debbie's like, who's Robbie? And he's like, oh, that's Bob. And he's telling the story. And Debbie's like, well, what does Robbie look like? What does he like to do? And he's like, oh, well, he looks just like Dad. Well, the deal is, Steve, his dad, his brother Robert died as a kid. And so Nick, at 4 years old, is talking about this invisible friend that looks just like his dad, whose brother passed away with the same name. Debbie was like, it was the freakiest fucking thing ever happened to me. She's like, I wanted to get out of the house, but I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my God. No, I can't do that. Nope.
That's creepy.
But yeah. He said, oh, he looks just like Dad. I'm like, oh my God. Debbie's like, I almost passed out.
You hear that crashing going on? Somebody's just knocking 12 packs into a refrigerator. Bam!
What?
There's something crazy going on. I don't know. Something crazy going on behind me, around me. I'm not at home, so I had a friend's house.
Oh my God.
They're just whipping 12 packs.
Catnip did seances? No way. All right.
I was reading their stuff. Go ahead. I couldn't do that. What is this? Mary Jane, and the Candyman comes?
There's no way.
Listen, that Candyman's scary, dude. I'll tell you what. That thing is scary. we used to play around in this laboratory. It was like a science. It was a veterinarian's hospital. Okay, but it was like half tore down and just like fell apart kind of thing. There was all kinds of drugs in there, medical drugs, things like that in there. I'm not kidding you, like powders and everything. But it was really strange when we were a kid. We used to play in there, but I swear that place was haunted. It looked like an old nut house, like, all brick and long hallways and everything, with medical crap all broke on the floor. Who knows? Maybe that's probably what gave me all my aches and pains these days. You never know. But, I mean, it was scary. So I used to be scared to go around there because I swear I heard things in rooms and, voices or things, and it could have been my brother scaring me. I don't know. He was younger, but he was too smart. I'd beat his ass. He better watch.
I don't know.
Yeah, that place was scary because they used to do animal testing and stuff there or something. It was creepy.
Yeah. No seances. I'll tell you right now.
Cemeteries, I think, are cool.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, I have a graveyard story.
I don't know if I'm gonna talk to the dead. If it'll be through somebody else talking to them, not me.
Yeah, we used to do seances and the Ouija board and stuff, but it was always done under the guise of knowing. Oops, sorry.
No, Linda, what are you doing? Uh-oh. Oh. There she went.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. So we used to do seances and Ouija boards and things, but it was always done with when I was in the witch stuff. And so we'd always cast the protective circle and this, that, and the other thing. But we went to a graveyard in Connecticut. I don't know if anyone's in central Connecticut, and I think it's Farmington. There's a graveyard called the Green Lady Cemetery, and it's known to be a very haunted spot. So much so that police will patrol the road because teenagers like to go hang out there and stuff.
Wow.
And so someone said, "Hey, you want to go check it out?" I'm like, "Of course I want to go check it out." So we went there one night, and the guy parks. We were in a Jeep Cherokee, and he parked it right at there's a stone wall with a gate where you could walk through, and he parked it right at the gate. And I'm like, "You can't leave that there." And he was like, "Why not?" I was like, "Think of the energy flow. It's not going to start." He's like, "Oh, don't be stupid. Of course it's going to start." Guess what? It didn't start, right? So now we're freaking out because we're stuck out here after scaring ourselves silly, and the truck won't start because he parked it in the gate, right? So we had to push start it. So 2 people got out and pushed it, and then we kept trying to start it as it was going down the road. That was hilarious. But the second time, we parked on the other side of the street and circled the truck with salt. We never had a problem. But a bunch of people, because we'd go like 10 of us, and they'd be walking on the graveyard. And this guy, Michael, and I, we were standing just up against the truck, just watching. And we see these 2 half circles of white light, one right after each other, go walking across the graveyard. And I smacked him, I backhanded him in the stomach. I'm like, "Did you?" And he's like, "Yeah, did you?" I'm like, "I just saw that." He's like, "I just saw that too." I'm like, "All right, time to go. Everyone, let's go. Round it up," and then we're out. Because for some reason, it wasn't a scary image, but I felt a lot of fear from it. So I'm like, I don't know what that was, but let's go. But we had hung out there so many times that we knew it wasn't car lights because in the middle of the woods, there's no cars around really. And nothing's going to reflect. I mean, it's a graveyard with trees. There's nothing there to reflect light in the middle of the graveyard, And I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm done. But we all kind of felt addicted to it. Like we said, we're not going back. But the next, like, you want to go back? You want to go back? And finally I said, okay, this isn't healthy. We're dreaming about this place. We have this obsession to go back all the time. I'm like, we got to cut this right now. And it was actually hard to not go back.
So yeah, you're being like Barney and Buddy Hill. They're trying to go back and see what happened too.
Yeah, yep. So, but that is a creepy place. Oh man. But yeah, we saw a lot of crazy stuff there. It was fun. Scary.
Yeah, I'd like to go down to New Orleans and do all their graveyards.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I would no, I'm not.
We should do that together. Like, are you kidding me?
Let's go right
perfect.
Now. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'll pack. I'll start
road trip. Now. Pick up Linda on the way. I'll get Paul.
No, the seance thing, I don't know. All that's weird. Like the Ouija board, don't bring that near me.
Yep.
The one thing that gets me is exorcism. No, I
Yes.
can't. No, 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 and no.
Yep.
The whole idea of it freaks me the fuck out. Like the movie,
Yep.
the story about it actually took place here in St. Louis, and I've been by the house a couple times where all this shit was supposed to have gone down, and no thanks, I can't. No. As much as I believe in like paranormal and extraterrestrial stuff, and like my youngest son, he and I talk about the shit all the time. But then he knows I cannot do exorcism stuff, and he's like, "Well, if you're going to believe in ghosts, you have to believe in the good and the bad." So
Yep.
I mean, he's right there, but no, I can't do it. Nope.
Yeah,
nope.
I disagree with use of Ouija boards now. We did use it. We had a couple really creepy things. We used the Ouija board. We have the circle and everything. All the window blinds in the dining room went up together. The old kind of window blinds where we'd pull them down to let them go back up. All of them, 6 of them, flew up at the same time. That's not possible. I'm like, okay, I don't like this anymore. But I think a lot of people play with them because it looks like a toy. It's marketed as a toy, for crying out loud,
Yeah,
But
it's in the game aisle.
Yeah, but they're not toys. They're really not. And I think they can be dangerous. So we don't use those anymore. No more seances. Because if the dead want to say something to me, they don't need me to do a seance.
Right.
I don't need to disrupt them to do that. So I don't agree with that kind of stuff anymore.
You're like, just follow me on Twitter, buddy. I'll talk to you then.
Yeah, Linda, I never believed the messages we got from using the plank thing, but all the window blinds going up and a couple other weird experiences while using one made me think this is not a toy. We need to put this away.
Yeah, no,
It's just not cool.
No, I don't even want to see one. I don't. That's not. I don't know. I guess the evil side of the paranormal stuff, I'm not interested. Like,
right, and you can't differentiate. If you're using a Ouija board, you can't say, I only want the nice, happy things to come through. It doesn't work that way. You open the doorway, you open the door. So,
yeah, see, I agree, catnip. And catnip, I mean, too many things do happen that can't be explained, and they can be connected to a Ouija board. I don't know. I don't think it's a toy. I think it's crazy. Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you a funny Mike story about this kind of thing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm going to put this in the podcast yet. I probably shouldn't even be saying it here. But
we've got exclusive content. Woohoo!
When I was in Salem, we had met a woman who had a magic type church in New Hampshire, but she also studied and practiced voodoo and Santeria. Right, which I was like, ooh, that sounds cool, because what do I know? I'm a kid.
Santeria, that's another one. Oh God.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, this is fascinating because I wanted to know everything and experience everything. So I'm like, let's go, right? So I went and I stayed with her for a while, and she taught me Santeria and she taught me voodoo and all of these great things. And they're not what Hollywood says they are. Okay, so please, they're not that. I know, Linda, the black magic from the South, but Santeria and voodoo, they're really not what the public thinks of them as.
I find Santeria very interesting, but go on.
Santeria, to me, because they use the Catholic saints as their icons for their deities, because it was brought over by the slaves, and they couldn't practice their native religion. They had to hide it under the Catholicism of their owners. So, there's a fascinating cultural history with it. But beside the point, when I got with Mike, now, because Mike's a narcissist, he's not really religious, but he would mimic whatever religion the person he was with had, right? So at first I was telling him about Wicca and witchcraft and voodoo and Santeria, and he was terrified of the voodoo and Santeria stuff. And I'm like, okay, because at that point I already had a clue that maybe he wasn't like, a great guy. So I played it up so hard with him that this voodoo and Santeria were scary stuff, right? Because I figured if he's terrified of me as a voodoo priestess, he will leave me alone. And he won't do anything back, so think I'll curse him the kingdom come. Right? And it really worked for a long time. And at one point, I made a little poppet or like a voodoo doll out of one of his old T-shirts that he had cut himself on, so there was a blood stain on it. And
Oh my God.
he had had a kidney stone while he was with me, and for some reason
Oh, that's
it
terrible.
passed in the little cone, and he kept it. And I'm like, that's gross, but I'm putting that in my voodoo doll. So I took it
Oh
and I
my
put it in
God.
the voodoo doll. And I used to always cut his hair, so I put some hair. I mean, I did it by the book, right? You know.
Oh my God.
When I saw him a couple of years ago, you'll eventually hear in the story where he and I actually met a couple of years ago for the first time in 10 years. I took it out and I showed it to him. I was like, oh, here, you know what? You can have this now. I'm done with it. Right. And he was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh, have you had a rough time the past 10 years or so? Sorry. Here, you can have it now. I'm done. Oh, it was so much fun. I was just like, oh, thank God I still kept that thing. Just to see his face when I pulled it out. He was like, wah! So yeah, that was worth the whole thing, just having that minute to show him that little voodoo doll. But yeah, he almost pissed his pants. And of course, my husband's watching this. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
Right.
Just got to make him sweat. That's all.
Yeah. You're like, what are you doing? Like, do you have one of me too? Like,
Right,
is that
yeah.
the only one in the house?
Like, of course I do, honey. Don't be silly.
Right. Exactly. That's a dumb question. Come on now.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, oh man, I will never forget that look.
I don't know.
Yeah, all the crap he did to me all those years came back full force in that one facial expression.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve that
You're
so hard.
like, I win.
Yep.
It's like your mic drop moment, right?
Yep.
Oh my God, that's
Yep.
hilarious.
Absolutely. So yeah, that
I
was
don't know.
great.
Where I grew up was like our neighborhoods were separated by, you know, which church you were closest to, like the Catholic, you know, which Catholic thing. And so it was broke up into sections by each Catholic church. They were like one on every 4 blocks.
Right.
So, I mean, I went to Catholic school my entire life, and, you know, and going, you know, to theology class every day for, you know, so many years. They, you know, anything that touched about like, they would bring up other religions vaguely, but Santeria was like, no, 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 because there was like they explained it to us like it was the devil like form of,
Right.
you know, Catholicism and all this stuff. Like they made it sound like, you know, if you even say the word, you know, crazy shit's gonna happen. So I grew up, you know, thinking or being taught that, hey, this, you know, this is bad. And the more I looked at it, I mean, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but it's interesting.
It's very different than a lot of the United States type religions that we see, but it's beautiful, and it gives you such a more direct relationship with the deity. You know, it's not some removed third party up in the sky. They're right there with you, and you have a relationship with them. But it's very positive. It's very healthy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful and loving. And the voodoo dolls were created originally to do healing. And you would place pins wherever the healing energy needed to focus, and you would focus that energy into that person.
Like acupuncture.
Right. Like remote acupuncture. And you know, Hollywood took it, oh, they're curses, no, and they're really not. You know, so it's nothing like what disease, but it works to your advantage sometimes to play it off that way.
Yeah.
You know, and certainly for the people that practiced Santeria way back, you know, in the 1800s, they liked that people had a fear of that because they felt it kept them a little safer.
Right.
You know, so they didn't really kind of try to combat the Hollywoodness of it. Like, go ahead, let them be afraid of us. Big deal. They'll leave us alone.
Right, exactly. Right. Like, let's have the benefit.
Yep. Right. But even that we're going to start reading The Devil's Knot with Paul about the West Memphis 3. And that's a fascinating case. But the whole witch hunt of it.
If Travis is still here, Travis was pretty involved. Like, he was really into that case. So with the West Memphis 3, Travis would be a great resource too, because he just any topic we have, he can always relate it to the West Memphis Three. So
Yep.
He's a good resource if you see Travis around when you're talking about
Definitely. Yeah, that's going to be fascinating because we're going to have to talk about the witch hunt
Let
side
her
of
out.
things.
Yeah,
And there are a lot
exactly.
of people in that community who are very conservative religion type people, and this might.
How I just told you about my Uncle Bill, and he ended up telling me the ghost story is real.
Mhm.
Him and my Aunt Patsy live in West Memphis, so we pretty much got like the local kind of opinion from them, and like the newspaper stories about it, and about the horrible things he was into and all this crap. I mean, and they were part of the people that believed that this is actually, that there was some sort of, event that took place that was due to the devil and blah, blah, blah. And, then when they show stuff about like on the news and the different documentaries, I'm like, I've been to that gas station when I visited, like it's so bizarre. But it was very divided there. She said there was a lot of, it was tense, she said, for a long time.
Satanic panic, that's what they called it. And that's really what it is.
Exactly.
And I was talking to Paul today. I'm like, I'm a little nervous about these discussions. He's like, why? I was like, how many other like witch people do you have in your community, huh? Like, how is this going to go for me?
Right.
And he's like, well, maybe we'll skip over that part. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, but because I want to be honest about it and say, this is what witchcraft is. This is what Satanism is. This is what it, that's not what was going on here. But I don't want to offend them either, because this is Paul's tribe,
Right.
And I'm like, oh boy, I might sit this one out. We'll see.
I'm going to be busy that day. I got to wash my hair. Sorry about
but
that.
at the same time, I may be able to give them a perspective they don't have.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, if any one of us was arrested and we were charges were made against us about the stuff we've read or researched, we'd all be locked up. Like every single one of us. Like, and that's basically like they looked at him and the way he dressed, and the profiling was ridiculous.
Yep.
So what? I don't know. I mean, I'm not being ugly, but if you're free to believe whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I mean, my opinion is, I went to Catholic school my whole life. I was told what to believe. I was forced to go to church 3 times a week. All these things were like, it wasn't a choice, and it pissed me off. Right. So, now, I mean, I'm not anti-God or anything like that, but I will never tell you, you need to go to church, you need to do this. It's that religion is a choice, in my opinion. And because it was so forced on me, like just from school, but no thanks. Like, no, it's a choice. And you're free to believe whatever the hell you want,
Well, I was raised by a woman, my mother, who is she's very much like me. I think that's where I get it from. She wanted to know everything. So for my childhood, we bounced from religion to religion to religion, because she was searching for what fit her. So we were Protestant, we were Catholic, we were Methodist, we were everything that she could find. And so it almost gave me a thirst to know more and always keep looking for more. And where my religion is now that I'm 48 and I've been through all this weird stuff, some really crazy stuff, is I believe there's a higher power. I don't know what it's called. God, goddess, you call it whatever. But some of my most amazing experiences have been like in a very big old Catholic church when they did a high Latin mass. That was, it knocked my socks off. I'm not Catholic, but I could still appreciate the energy that was there and how amazing it was. Same time, I can be just as comfortable going to, a voodoo circle down in New Orleans, or I could go to the Southern Baptist thing down the street here. Well, not really, because they're a little off their rocker, but some of the Southern churches here are nice, but there are some. There's one that's been labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, who's just down the road from me. And they're terrifying. They're up there saying, we got to stone all the gays and we got to do this. And I'm like, oh my God, you're not a church. I don't think God's going to like that. I'm like, whoa. So, there's some scary shit down here. Yeah, they're pretty scary. But I'm comfortable walking through other people's religions, because to me, It's like if you imagine a big plane and there's wells drilled into the ground like 100 miles apart all over the place. They all go down to the same river. It doesn't matter which well you take. You know, you get to the same river of the divine. And as long as you're taking a well, that's great. Faith is a wonderful thing. You have yours, I'll have mine. We'll all get to the same place. And it's great. As we do it with love, all the better. That's all it's about, I think.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's comforting to a lot of people to believe in a higher power, which I do think that there's something, you know, you want to believe in something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what I was taught is not necessarily what I believe. And once I was given the opportunity to make my own choices, you know, as far as religion goes, I mean, I have some different ideas and beliefs, but I don't, you know, like you said with the hate groups, now that shit pisses me off. No, you don't, nobody has the right to do that. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But dude, you go, you know, shake some snakes, do your dance and fall on the floor, do whatever the fuck you got to do, whatever makes you feel good about you. That's fine. I just don't like the pushing it on other people. That's
right. Don't tell me I'm wrong because I do something different. You know,
exactly.
You do your thing, I'll do mine.
Right.
Yeah. Cults are a little different, you know. Jim Jones, his happy church. Yeah.
Oh my God. Cults freak me out. Like Scientology is something that oh my God. Scientology gets me.
You watched the Leah Remini special?
Oh yeah. I watch so much stuff. I've read so much stuff. Scientology, that one gets me a lot. I'm fascinated how it is still what it is. Okay, here's my biggest question with Scientology. Honest to God, and I tweeted this to Leah Remini, and I really want her to answer this. So they have this, you know, the disconnection rule. Like if you leave, you can't talk to nobody. You're done.
Right.
So with Tom Cruise, when he got divorced, does that mean that he can't see his daughter anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because it seems to me that when him and Katie Holmes got divorced, so they would have been cut off. So does he have a relationship with his daughter? I really want to know that, because if the rules are being bent for him, then the whole house of cards is bullshit, which already is. Right. But I'm just wondering if he's able to have a relationship with his daughter, given the rules of the church, which I use that word loosely for them.
Right.
I don't know. That's just something I've always wondered.
I think Scientology is just a giant money-making scam.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's, ugh, man.
And
the missing wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shelley Miscavige, yeah.
Yes.
Nobody knows where she is.
Mm-hmm.
I find that very bizarre. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, cults are scary because any religion should be teaching you to grow and become enlightened and learn and expand. And when they tell you, no, you can't think that, no, you can't learn about that, no, you can't, when they start pestering you with no's, you can't do stuff, then you need to start shopping around because there's a problem.
Right. I mean, I find the psychology of it, I find it fascinating how people are able to, like, coax other people into their stuff. Now, okay, like, so for like Jim Jones.
Yep.
When Jim Jones started, I do not think his intention was to harm people. I think at the very beginning of it, when he was still he was somewhere in the Midwest, wasn't he? Before he went to California. I forget. Before he went to California, when he first started all this. I mean, he really had good intentions, and like the multicultural family, he was like one of the first ones to adopt a black child, you know, and like didn't want no bullshit from people and was like, hey, I'm not dealing with that. And he's just a kid, you know. I think he had the right intention then, but then it just when he went to California, he got so much power so quickly that that was it. He was like, okay, I got you now, you know.
Like the saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, and he definitely was a narcissist when we look back at his life and the things he did.
Yeah.
He might not have developed full-fledged into what he did if he didn't have that that power and that money behind him and the worship, the
Right.
adoration of so many people. That's a heady thing. And you have to be a really healthy person to be able to deal with that. And he clearly
Right.
was not. Bye,
No,
Linda.
not even close. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, culture scary. You know, I don't really subscribe to any particular organized religion because I do my own thing. But
Right.
you know, I kind of think I'm more of a Christian than most of the Christians you see, especially lately. I believe in you treat other people the way you want to be treated, and you be nice, and you help people, and you just love people. How can that be
Right.
a
It's
bad
that
thing?
time. Right.
You know, you're not
I
going to
mean,
go
if
wrong.
if we're being honest here, instead of storming Area 51, you're gonna find better shit if you storm the Vatican. I mean,
Oh
let's be
yeah.
honest.
Oh
I
man.
mean, you're
Oh,
wasting your time going to Area 51. You need to haul your heads over to the Vatican because that's when some shit you'll find some shit there. That is for
Galileo's
real.
notebooks are in the Vatican's library. You know what I would do to get my hands on those?
Oh
Oh
my god.
man, the stuff they got there. Ooh.
See, Jehovah's Witnesses, Travis, those, that, okay, so I worked with a girl who was a Jehovah's Witness when I worked with Six Flags when I was 15 and 16. And it was the strangest shit I've ever heard in my life. But she would go out with us on Friday or Saturday night and be the one drunk dancing on the table and be the one waking us up at 7 o'clock in the morning. We had to get her to church by 8. And I'm like, it was the most bizarre thing. Like they couldn't go out for Halloween. They didn't couldn't even go to school on the days when there was class parties. The whole thing. The rules of it were ridiculous, and then to come later to find out all the other things that came along with it. That no, nope. I mean, it's bad enough they come and knock on my door, but the shit that they do behind closed doors is insane.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bothers me about them is they keep coming to like convert me. I'm like, listen, leave me alone. I'm
Right.
good. Stop. You know.
Yeah. I mean, we live on a gravel road. There's 9 houses on our road, and I bet you they come here at least once every couple of months. They have a thing not too far down the road. I'm like, dude. I mean, out here in the middle of nowhere, they're gonna end up getting shot. I mean,
Yep.
like, dude, you just need to stay home. Like, and they're young kids, and it pisses me off that they're young kids.
That scary church I told you down the street from a Steadfast Baptist Church, the hate group. We had called the police on them. I was home alone with the kids one day. There was a knock at the door. My daughter answers it, and I'm listening. I'm like, who is she talking to? I better go check. So I go check, and it's this religious guy, right? And he hands me the card thing for his church. And there's 2 little kids out there all dressed up to the nines and some other guy. And I say, oh, no, thank you, right? And go to close the door. And I was very polite about it. But as I closed the door, he put his foot in my doorway so I couldn't close the door. And I'm like, oh, hell no, you did not just do that, right? And so I opened the door and I'm like, you have 5 seconds to get the fuck out of my doorway. And he was like, I am just here to teach the word of God and you should. I'm like, 4, 3, right? And finally I went to close the door again and he put his foot there and I slammed the door on his foot. Right. And so he yelps and moves his foot and I close and slam the door and lock it, run inside, call my husband because he works kind of across the street. And I start flipping the heck out because I'm triggered now 6 ways from Sunday. You don't do that to somebody with PTSD, So I'm like, blah. My husband comes home like, what the hell? So I tell him what happened and he calls the police. But by the time he went back outside, the police were already here because other neighbors had called because this guy had done kind of the same thing to them. So they were already looking for this dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we know they're a problem. But they never came back after that. But, we also have a firearm in the house. This is Texas. Every house has a firearm. It's locked and not assembled and not loaded or anything. But that's my first thought is I need to know to be able to get at that quickly because this fucker comes back,
shit's going down.
You don't put your foot in a door in Texas and expect not to be shot at some point. Somebody will shoot you.
Oh my god! Yeah, I would have been batshit crazy too. No.
Yeah,
no.
I flipped it. I was crying. I was just all over the place because he just radiated so much hostility. I was like, oh, this is a very bad person. and I didn't know who they were at that time. I had no idea who Steadfast Baptist was. But then I Googled it and I found all this stuff and I'm like, oh, geez, Jesus is not your
Lord.
friend, guy. You need Jesus. Yeah,
Right.
that was really scary. And to think this is a church,
Right,
So,
exactly.
whew, yep, they're creepy.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I'll
Travis,
take the Jehovah's Witnesses over to them any day.
yeah, the no blood transfusions, Travis, is another thing that I don't quite understand. Knowing full well that plenty of people could have been saved had they done that, but I mean, I guess rules are rules, but
Well, isn't their
no.
premise that if you're supposed to live, God will save you? It's like, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
didn't God make doctors?
Right.
I mean, yeah, God made these smart people doctors for a reason, so they could save you. Let them, I don't know. I don't
Right.
get that.
Yep. Hold on. I gotta let the dog out. She's having a stroke. Hold on. I'll be
Oh,
right
no.
back.
Yeah, that's a interesting philosophy. Is it religious freedom when you deny your child medical care? Or is that just child abuse? If you have a child that could be saved by a procedure, but you won't get it done because God tells you not to, I'd start thinking at the time maybe I was in the wrong religion. But what do I know? I'm not a religious scholar. But I know what DCF thinks about that. They don't like it, but they are told to be totally hands off. If we had a family that claimed that you couldn't do shit, of course, they would sometimes take them to court over it and try to get a court order to get custody of the child for medical care, and that usually didn't go their way. And I'm all alone again. Everybody's gone. What should I talk about? Talk about my husband, and he has a dry cough. We should talk about getting a humidifier. Right, honey? Now he's not listening to me.
All right. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. She was like pacing and like doing her little circles around the door. I'm like, okay.
Aw.
What a mess.
My cats are doing that. They're all lined up by the door, staring at it, willing it to open with the power of their mind.
Right? I don't know. I don't. Different. I don't know. The cult. I think Scientology is a cult. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I
I
think. I
agree.
think it is. There's something there that I don't know.
I mean, they're teaching people
I
to
mean,
give them all money and go through these weird psychological things because the alien told them to. All right, that's
right?
a
Like,
cult.
right? The Satan and what was the big one? The Thetans are the little guys. What was the big one?
The big guy.
Xenu, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was Xenu. Xenu is the big one, and I'm like, dude.
And it's all
I
based
don't
on
know.
L. Ron Hubbard's Dianetics books, which were crazy. Those were pretty
Right. Well,
insane to begin with.
yeah, he was a science fiction writer, and then he developed this, and I'm like, oh my god.
There's a
Like,
documentary where his son gives a talk about how crazy his father was and how crazy Scientology is. That was fascinating to watch. That's his own son.
yeah, I mean, I don't get anything about Scientology. I mean, okay. So like the first part of it, I guess whatever their however their levels work. Like the first three, one is like self-awareness, and like the first three are actually sound useful. Like you'll be able to, kind of clear your mind, get some shit off your chest, and be able to be more confident when you talk
Right.
to people. And even Leah Remini talked about like the first ones were really great. They actually helped her in her career because she just was able to speak freely. It taught her
Right.
some things. But then, as it goes on, so it's kind of like this bait and switch kind of thing. Like here, we really will help you be a better person, but just hold on because we're gonna fuck you up in just a minute. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bizarre, and you got to pay for it.
Yep. But that whole test they do where you hold the two metal rods and they psychically test your energy to see if you're telling or you're clearing, that is such baloney. There is no science to that at all. And I can't believe this many seemingly wealthy, intelligent people fall for that. I'm like,
Right.
do you not have a Google machine? Can you, I mean, what is wrong with you? I mean, if psychiatry was that easy, we'd all be psychiatrists. It'd be one of those machines on every corner. But it's not true. It doesn't.
We just
work.
walk around holding two Coke cans. We got this.
We should do that. We should make some and sell them.
Right? I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for those people. And what the hell is the Sea Org? Like, oh my God.
The Sea Organization.
I don't get it.
But the whole prison things that they have, where they keep their members locked up, basically, and don't feed them and make them sleep on the floor. It's like, that's not religion. God does not want you to be locked up and kept. No, you're not doing well. Not God. I guess Xenu, the aliens. Maybe the aliens do want that. Who are we to say? But it's hard for me to see how thinking people can get that far into an organization like that and not see it for what it is. But that's the power of this kind of codependency and this need to have someone else take responsibility for your life.
I don't know.
Like Tim Jones did that. He was a drug addict, had all kinds of problems from childhood. Religion was his bomb. But he went to Crazy Town religion that told him to beat his kids and, not let his wife have a job or get smart. Or it's like, no, man.
Right. And another thing I really like the FLDS and
yes, yep,
the polygamy, those groups, cults, whatever, that fucked up shit. That I've watched a lot on that. I've learned a lot about that too. They do very similar things like Scientology, where there's like so much security around the people. Like, they're so controlled. Like, there's a camera everywhere. They know everything they do. You can't have a home phone. Like, it's just fucking bizarre.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm like, we watched like Escape and Polygamy, and they just show very few stories or whatever. But that shit is just insane. Yeah, like the God Squad, like, oh my God, get out of town.
Yeah, like when they raided the FLDS compounds and all these child marriages and stuff, you're like, what?
Right.
Just, man, these people need therapy, like, like, wow. Therapy for the kids, but therapy for the adults that did this to the kids and moms that let their 12-year-old daughters marry this 40-year-old dude. And like, no, you have too many problems.
And that 40-year-old dude is like their uncle and shit. It's so fucking bizarre. I don't get it.
And freedom of religion is one thing, but there should be lines that aren't drawn. You can't be a pedophile and just say, well, that's my religion. You can't touch me. No, that doesn't work. No.
No. Well, I mean, what's his face is in shit, what the hell? He's in prison in Texas, and he still calls and gives fucking,
yes, he does.
Directions to everybody, and they still believe it. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, they think that he was set up. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are so blind. The blinders are amazing. Just amazing.
The power of indoctrination it's just, I don't know. I may have fallen for a narcissist, but at least I never ended up in a big cult like that.
Right? Like, I don't get it. I mean, it is what it is, but no, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm almost kind of thankful that I went to, like, I was, went to Catholic school my whole life, because I I was basically forced to learn religion because that was the premise. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm kind of glad that I had that kind of experience where, like, okay, no, I don't want this shit shoved down my throat, you know?
Yeah.
So it was kind of a benefit. Maybe it was like a way to learn, don't fall for the cult bullshit, you know? But I
Yeah.
mean, Catholics are fun. They like gamble and drink and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Yes, Travis, you can still do peyote and animal sacrifices, but how many animals do we kill every day to put in the grocery store? And in Santeria and Voodoo, when you sacrifice a chicken, the entire chicken is
Mm,
used. It's cooked and eaten and stuff, you know? I mean,
yeah,
it's no different than what Purdue does. And taking peyote, it's a plant. It's not, you know, a killer drug. It's much stronger than marijuana, but you're not raping children.
right,
There's, you know, I mean, if somebody wants to do a shamanic ritual and take peyote, all right, fine. They do it in a tent. It's a controlled situation. It's supposed to be anyway, when done properly. But that's a whole different world of stuff than raping and marrying 12-year-old girls, I think,
right,
you know. And even, yeah, okay, the chicken thing. That's kind of gross, and a lot of people don't have a stomach for that. I didn't have the stomach for that. But I eat chicken that Purdue keeps in tiny little cages, and you know they're abused their whole life till they get slaughtered and put on my plate. So how
right,
can I say a religion can't do that when they're doing it for they're really doing it for their belief. They really strongly believe that they're giving the energy to the god and transferring it to the practitioner at the time, and then they eat it like they cook it up on a grill. You know, I can't draw a big distinction between the two. You
right,
know, so I think there it's you have to go a case by case basis, and common sense should prevail.
right. I mean, with any religion, I don't give a shit how whatever it is. There's always people that take it too far, regardless
Right.
of. I mean, there's always like your church down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
there's always people that take it too far.
Yep.
But
You know,
some of
animal
it,
sacrifices. Have you read the Old Testament? You know, I mean,
right,
you know, it's a thing. Unfortunately, I don't like it because
right,
I love animals, but you know, I'd rather have animal sacrifices than child brides.
right,
If I had to
exactly,
pick two, I'd rather have none.
right. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's easier to just let them like exploit animals, but when it comes to actual humans and especially children, it's just no, no.
Yep. Yeah.
And
If you go to a
it's not only like the young marriages. You hear so much of sexual abuse on all
yep.
the kids,
Yep.
and it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's somehow it's okay. Nobody's getting in trouble for this, and that just pisses me off.
Yep.
Because if they weren't associated with a church, their ass would be in jail, period. There would be charges. So I can never understand why that line is drawn to where they're pretty much untouchable. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, sort
It's
of. I mean,
aggravating.
the reason that they raided the Texas LDS compound was because of the child marriages,
Hmm.
and they actually took possession of the children for a little bit, but then they were placed with the mothers and stuff.
Hmm.
But the law did finally intervene and say, no, you can't do that just because you're a religion. So,
Right.
all right, at least that's something. It's a step forward.
I don't know. It's also there's so many different things. I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
but I
And
also am of the
then
belief
all
that.
of a sudden, 1,000 people are drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, how do you get
Mhm.
to that point? It's
Yep.
just like, oh my god. And how many people escaped from that? There was like less than a handful. Right? There was like four
Yep.
or five people. I
Hmm.
just, oh my god.
Yep.
I don't get it. I
And
don't get it.
I'm one of those very secularly minded people who tend to think religion is the biggest cause of most of our problems on the planet. Uh, it's just any
Yeah.
institutionalized system of belief is a problem. And
That's why I'm saying it'd be more interesting to storm the Vatican than it would be
yep,
Area 51. It really
yep.
would.
There's a
That
huge
would that.
difference between religion and spirituality. You can be
Hmm.
spiritual without
Right.
ascribing to an institutionalized school of thought.
Right. Exactly. Maybe. crazy. I don't know, man.
I think we've talked about everything under the sun except politics. Thank God, I can't go there.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
That's
I'm
a
good
no-no.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think we were almost crossing the line with religion, so I think
Yep.
we did all right.
Yep. That was as close as I ever want to come to explaining my
Yeah.
religious philosophy.
Right. Yeah. No. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was good. I miss
Yep.
Linda though. I love
Yeah.
Linda.
Oh, me too. She's like, let's do something tomorrow. I'm like, we could still do something tomorrow. So you never know. We might get her. I don't know. And I don't know what happened to Allie.
Yeah. When I was growing up, my mom had two best friends, Sue and Lorraine. And Linda is like them. They were hilarious. They were funny. They would sit at the kitchen table and tell jokes and pee themselves laughing. And I was like, I want my own Linda friend, And I was like, Linda, it's you.
Right. I know. Linda is the best. She's so much fun. And in person, she's so much fun. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in love with Linda. I just love her to pieces.
Me too. Yeah, and I'm sorry Allie didn't make it. I love talking to Allie.
I don't know what happened to her. She was messaging me, then she quit. So who knows? We'll catch her though. We'll rope her in. So yeah, well, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, I think.
Copyright law. I'm learning a lot about copyright law. Doing a podcast and wanting to put music in it. You have to learn a lot about copyright law before you put a piece of music in that podcast. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Took me like 3 days to figure out, all right, if I buy this song for $50, how many times can I actually use it? What's considered a work product? Is it a whole series or is it one episode? Can I use it in a commercial? It's like, all right, I need to go to law school so I can make a podcast. Great.
Yeah, well, YouTube does have a big section of like free music you can download to use as, background or whatever.
Yeah, on YouTube, but I can't use that on a podcast because that's YouTube's property. I can use it if I do it on YouTube, but not like on Anchor or Spotify. So I actually bought a couple of tracks and I can use them for 52 episodes. Like, okay. But I had to email them and be like, I don't understand what this crap says. How many times can I use it?
What was that? And the video I did about Reuben Carter, I got an email that there was a copyright strike against it from Netflix. And I'm like,
oh man.
What the hell came from Netflix? So I looked at the section, and the section they said came from Netflix was from the rally they had in 1975 with Muhammad Ali and all of them. So I disputed it. I'm like, it's 18 seconds of a rally. I don't understand. When I said the thing they said it came from, I had mentioned in there. So I was like using that to my advantage. I'm like, all it is this, blah blah blah. Well, then they turned around and reversed it. So I mean, you can dispute it, and every time there's only one that they've got that they refuse to reverse, which I don't care. Whatever. It's not a big deal. It's just it's ridiculous. And now YouTube is really cracking down on all kinds of crazy stuff, and there's some true crime channels that I watch, and because well, obviously no. Duh, right?
Yeah.
But what's her name? Petty Page. She has made like this key because there's certain words if you say in a true crime channel now, it's automatically demonetized. So she's made this like key of like code words for those words, so she can still maintain her monetization without pissing off YouTube.
Yep, almost every video that Paul's done and all the live streams we did about Rosenbaum instantly demonetized within 10 minutes of being up.
Yep, exactly.
And it was like, okay.
Yep. So, I mean, there's ways around it. And I tell everybody, if you tell me no, I'm going to figure out a way. No, watch this. Give me a minute. I will figure this out. And there's always a way. You just have to, put a little extra work into it. But get your hands dirty. I don't care.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know about the whole the key and trying to make sure you don't say certain words. It's just ridiculous.
Yep. The words like crime, I think crime, trial, anything even remotely about children,
Mhm.
murder, blood.
Yep.
There's like, I don't know, John Crimes put up a list of like 100 and something words. And it's
Yep.
like, well, what are we supposed to talk about? You know, hey,
Exactly.
there's a cloud in the sky today.
Yeah. Well, when Google took over YouTube, that was like kind of the first sign that um, this was going to become more of a mainstream media kind of thing, where they're going to be able to control more of what you see. But YouTube's algorithms already make it hard to find certain
Yep.
things. They bury things. And so I always kind of wondered, and now we're getting to that point to where it's just going to be, they don't want certain information shared. And I don't know. Exactly, Travis. Everybody's fucked. Nobody can say anything. Like,
Yep.
I was telling Wayne about it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, somebody got cotton candy today, like, and that's gonna be code word for killed. Like,
Yep.
it's so ridiculous. Yeah, you can't. I don't know. I don't
Well,
get it.
especially with
It's
the new
dumb, but
EU laws that went into place, what that does is changes things. So, like, if you're in the EU and you put up a copyrighted video, that the copyright owner could sue YouTube for that instead of you. So YouTube has to cover their
mhm,
own butts now, because now they're liable for all of that instead of the creator being liable. And it's just going to make
right,
it so we're not going to use YouTube anymore because we can't say a darn thing.
right. It's gonna become, like I said, mainstream media. It's gonna be so censored and so bland in the amount
Yeah.
of information that can be shared. It's
And the crackdown on children's stuff. There's a lot of YouTube creators that do big family type channels where
yeah,
they do
right.
advice on parenting and special needs
Mhm.
children, all this kind of stuff. But now they've changed it, even here in the US. If you have anything to do with children on your channel, no matter what, there's no monetization, there's no super chat, and there's no comments or chats. That's it. And it's like, well, that that's a problem for a whole lot of people. Now, yeah, it
Yeah,
cracks down on
so
the stuff like the Daddy of Five drama that happened last year. It stops that dead, which is fantastic. But
yeah.
it hurts the people who are actually doing good. Like, I watch a lot of the special needs parenting channels because I have an
Mhm.
autistic child, and I like to
Right,
chat and comment and meet other parents and talk
right.
about things we do. I can't do that now because they can't have a chat and they can't have comments. It's like, well, okay, let's
Yeah,
make a
well, we
Discord
were
channel.
yeah, they were talking about with Joseph Rosenbaum how he has cystic fibrosis. And my
Right.
brother has cystic fibrosis. And so I got hold of Paul and I was like, "Hey, I'd be happy to talk about it and talk about, like, most likely what his medicine schedule is, and especially with cystic fibrosis and diabetes. I'm pretty well versed in this disease. I said I'd be happy to come on and talk about it and kind of give an opinion on what I could see his medical thing being in prison or whatever.
Yep.
And then I thought about it later and I was like, I bet you that would just fuck Paul, because I wouldn't be able to really say, if I said really what everything is and, what really goes on with it, it's probably going to screw Paul.
Yep.
So I told him I would just make something, and then, because I don't give two shits about being monetized, this is just fun for me. And
Yep.
I don't want to screw up his channel. Like Richard's back, like after we got back from rally, a lot of the video I took had music in the background, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to send that to him or Allie to post, because I didn't want them to get in trouble for it. I'm like, oh my god, like, it's just dumb. It's ridiculous. I get about the music and, giving credit where credit's due, and, whatever. And you, like I said, you find a way around that. If you mention it, if you do certain things, you can get away with things. But to be able to come through now and censor what words you can say, that's fucking ridiculous. I hate it.
Yep.
I hate mainstream media to begin with, and that's exactly what this platform is becoming, because Google is such a huge entity in our world now. Their hands are on every fucking thing. So it's just, this YouTube's going to become mainstream media, and an episode of ridiculousness.
Right. This is supposed to be
That's
our
what that.
answer to mainstream media, the alternative to it. But now it's just going to get just as
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. Right. I agree with it.
Yep.
I agree with
Travis
that
is
1,000%.
asking about the Daddy of Five scandal. what happened with that, there was a really popular YouTube channel, like 400,000 followers, called Daddy-O-5. And it was this guy and his wife and his children that I think were her stepchildren. And they would play pranks on the kids, right? Like the mom and one of them took a bottle of invisible ink and squirted it all over the floor. And then they brought the kid up there and screamed at him for putting ink on the floor. And he was like, I don't know, I didn't do that. But they are screaming bloody murder at this kid. And he reduces to tears and he's on the floor crying. And then the ink disappears. And they're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. It was just a prank, bruh. Right. And they do these pranks to all of their kids, but they reduce them to tears and really freak the kids out. And I'm watching that and I'm horrified and I'm in tears just because these kids.
Oh my
And
God.
somebody finally reported it to the police and got through to the actual mother of the kids, the birth mom, and got her to the police to make a complaint about this. And they had to go to court. They lost custody because they had hundreds and hundreds of videos where they would reduce these kids to panic attacks and tears and then just laugh and be like, ha, 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 just a prank, bruh. And it's like, that guy, if I could see him on the street and have 5 minutes alone with that Daddy-O-5, he'd be a daddy of no more testicles, you know? But
Right.
yeah, it was disgusting. And there are a lot of channels like that. And that was a huge thing where YouTube finally had to stand up and say, okay, we need to look at some of these family channels because that was straight up abuse. It was straight up abuse. And then under the guise of it was a prank. And every time he said, it's just a prank, bruh, I was like, oh, I'd kick you in the jimmy so hard. Pull a prank like that on my kid. Oh, but and the mom was just as into it. And she would scream bloody murder at these kids. And I'm like, you two are just abusing your kids and trying to make money off it. That's all you're doing, you know? It was horrifying.
Right. Right. All right. I gotta let the dog in. She's having a stroke.
Okay, well, I should probably get going to bed because it is late
Right.
here.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fine. We can go ahead and wrap it up. Because I'm gonna let her in, and I think Linda wants to hit it hard and heavy tomorrow. So likely, if you're available tomorrow, we'll come back and do something crazy with Linda.
Awesome, that'd be great.
And I'll rope Allie in because I don't know. She was talking, acting like she was on her way, and then she wasn't. So hopefully she's all right.
Yeah, she might have just had power issues or something. You never know. But
never know with her.
Around.
She's something else. Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out, listening, playing games, and all of our crazy talk. I couldn't even tell you all the topics we talked about.
Remind Linda if you see her before me, she needs to get me her address so I can get her T-shirt sent to her.
Yep, she'll probably. It's been a while since she was on her way home. Usually it takes her about an hour, so I'm sure she'll be hitting me up shortly. So I'll make sure she gets hold of you. I guess probably Discord's probably the easiest.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much. You guys have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Yeah, and there we go.